Network presents the latest episode of Mark Stevens' No State Project. Up next here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Yes, welcome to the No State Project live from the fortified compound in Mesa, Arizona. Glad to be with everybody today. And I want to get this out, let everybody know I appreciate the continued support of the show. Of course, Dan and Bill in New Hampshire and Nelson in Maine. Of course, now Chris in Northern California. Appreciate he's a big supporter of the show, and I do appreciate that. I can't say enough about how, I really do appreciate the support, Chris. And hopefully we'll get to hear back from him real soon, get an update on his what he's working with up in Northern California. If you'd like to help support the show, and it is, of course, appreciated, it is markstevens.cells.com. That's SELZ. markstevens.cells.com and markstevens.net. And, of course, if you are being attacked by a bureaucrat and you want to learn how to more effectively defend yourself, markstevens.net. We've got Government Indicted, which has a whole model which has proven to be effective at limiting the damage that these predators called government want to do to us. You get that at markstevens.net together with scripts, and I am available, of course, for consultations, which includes making those really fun calls to the IRS, which I know I've got caller shames and I've got video I have to get up. But when we spoke with, I think it was Gerard, he hasn't been. I haven't gotten an email with the dismissals yet, so it's not totally my fault for not having the video. But I'm glad he was able to get that, and so hey, we get it in a week. That's great. I'll get the video up with all the other ones that are just sitting there waiting for me to discuss. And if you're being attacked by a bureaucrat and you want to join me on the show, great. 218-632-9399. That's 218-632-9399.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,476. Silver at $16.96. And Bitcoin is trading around $7,378. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, 5 of Jeffrey Epstein's accusers have said that the Duke of York was witness to the act of girls giving massages to adults at his various properties. And now the accuser's lawyer plans to serve subpoenas to Prince Andrew to testify as a witness in their cases. While the prince contends he did not witness or even suspect any activities for which Epstein has either been convicted or accused, the lawyer for the 5 women, David Boyce, says the Duke of York may have important information related to their cases. The Mind Unleashed reports the subpoenas have been prepared, but must be signed off by a judge after the prince sets foot on U.S. soil. He can then challenge the subpoenas in order to avoid providing evidence if he wishes. Spencer Cuban, a lawyer who represents many of Epstein's alleged victims and once questioned the billionaire a decade ago, has urged the prince to come forward, saying on BBC Radio 4's Today, quote, "Be a man, stand up for what you believe, and what you're saying is the truth, and come forward," end quote. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Despite having gotten away with murder, Neighborhood Watch volunteer George Zimmerman has filed a $100 million lawsuit against the family of Trayvon Martin and attorney Ben Crump, claiming that they engineered false evidence against him. The Mind Unleashed reports that Zimmerman, who was acquitted of homicide charges in the 2012 shooting death of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin, is being represented by high-profile lawyer, founder of Judicial Watch and Freedom Watch, and former U.S. Department of Justice prosecutor Larry Klayman, in a lawsuit seeking damages for defamation, abuse of civil process, and conspiracy. Martin was shot and killed February 26, 2012, when he was returning to his father's home, whom he was visiting, after purchasing candy at a local store. Zimmerman reported Martin as suspicious in a call to police. Zimmerman claims he followed Martin after making the call and was attacked by the teen before killing him. Martin was unarmed, carrying only the Skittles and a drink he had just purchased. The Trump administration on Wednesday announced new measures that would end food stamp benefits for nearly 750,000 low-income people. The new rules would make it difficult for states to gain waivers from a requirement that beneficiaries work or participate in a vocational training program, according to a report from Bloomberg. Republicans have long attempted to make the change. House Republicans tried to cut parts of the federal food assistance program last year, but it was quickly rejected in the Senate. The new requirements by the Trump administration would only target able-bodied recipients who are not caring for children under the age of 6. Sources said the measure would be one of 3 enacted by the Trump administration to wind down the massive federal food assistance program. The measures are expected to boot nearly 3.7 million recipients from the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, known as SNAP. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
If you're one of the many frustrated singles who suffer from online dating fatigue, you might just be in luck. A new dating website launched this week that caters to fed-up men and women who simply want to meet eligible singles with unbroken skin or open sores similar to their own. It's called Last Shot.
If you're one of those people who's just ready to throw your hands up in the air and start a life with someone who has unbroken lesion-free skin, or on the other hand, if you're open to someone who has boils and abscesses similar to your own, Last Shot is perfectly calibrated to your needs.
Boasting a user-friendly interface and affordable dues of $4.99 a month, Last Shot simply asks users to log in, then click yes or no if they have open sores. Within moments, they're connected with hundreds of eligible singles who have comparable skin conditions. Reviews have been overwhelmingly positive. Arcuri hopes to one day introduce an upgraded membership experience, which would allow exasperated singles to filter for specific skin conditions.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom. 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Chris.
Hey, it's Ian.
Hey, it's Vincent.
And man, do we got a special guest for you. And I'm not saying that like he's special. He's special to us.
So not short bus special.
Not short bus special, but...
Not a bus special.
Not a bus special. That's another way of putting it. I consider this gentleman one of the best libertarians I've ever met. And he...
Dubious title, in my opinion, but okay.
Okay. I think he...
He's a real libertarian. That's why we're having him on
Oh, no,
tonight.
I'm not doubting that. No. It's not at all. Yeah, no, Darryl's one of the most principled libertarians I've met.
When I think about principled libertarians, it's hard to come up with too many examples on par with Darryl.
Darryl W Perry, we should say.
Darryl W Perry.
On par with... yeah.
I already unmuted him there in case he was trying to say thank you or something like that while you were talking about him.
Oh, we don't need his
I was
thanks.
just enjoying all of the accolades.
Oh, that's
Thank
right.
you.
Well, it's great to have you back on, Darryl. It's been most of the year, I think, since we last had you on Free Talk Live.
And how fitting it turned out to be on a Thursday night.
Yep, it sure did.
Yes. I didn't even realize that it was Thursday.
Believe it or not. So you got stuck with me tonight.
Well, you've been working, I think, day and night launching your new campaign for New Hampshire governor.
Yeah, so this is actually something that I'd been considering for a while, and there have been some people with some concerns because I'm dealing with a pretty bad concussion, and I joked, I said, you don't have to have brain damage to be governor, but it probably helps.
Well, you can still take on the Republicans and Democrats, even though you have a serious concussion.
With half your brain tied behind your back.
Well, are you prepared to face off against nobody once he wins via Republican primary?
I don't see that happening.
Seems pretty unlikely.
If it does, then I probably won't say anything stranger than Joe Biden talking about his hairy legs, roaches, and kids jumping in his lap.
Did you guys see just since you brought that up, we played that clip earlier this week, and then somebody turned it into a video. They turned
Of course they did.
a cartoon video.
Yes. Yeah, I saw that, and
hilarious.
I'm still trying to figure out how this is reality, where that's the front runner in the Democratic presidential campain.
Is he the front runner? All right, then.
Yes, for a long time. Yeah, for this entire time, he's been the front runner.
Wow.
Now, I thought, what's the gentleman from where? Ohio, Indiana? I thought he was...
Pete Buttigieg? No, he's been consistently like third or fourth.
Interesting. He was doing very well in the New Hampshire polls.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't follow that stuff this closely because, frankly, I don't care.
So, Darryl, for a long time here in New Hampshire, we've all been here for a number of years, and the Libertarian candidates for governor have been... Let's say they've been leaving something to be desired. They haven't really been the most principled. The last one that ran was a very nice lady, Gilletta Jarvis, and I liked her a lot personally, but she never really nailed it as far as libertarian principles were concerned, and her voting totals weren't really anything to write home about.
Gotcha.
I suspect that is a factor in your decision. What was it that led you to finally go ahead and pull the trigger and say, all right, I'm throwing in my hat for governor?
Partly that, and also the fact that the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire convention is coming up in just over 5 weeks, and nobody else has stepped forward to say that they were running for governor.
And does it have to be chosen, their nominee? Is it going to be chosen at the convention?
That's the plan, is to choose nominees at the convention. And, since we're going to need to collect 3,000 petitions divided between the 2 congressional districts, it's better to start collecting those sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And I know that 2020 is a presidential year, and the National Libertarian Party isn't choosing their nominee until Memorial Day weekend. And because New Hampshire doesn't have candidate substitution, we can't start collecting the presidential petitions until June anyway.
When can you start collecting the gubernatorial petitions?
January 1st.
Okay.
Nice.
And we have this wonderful thing called the First in the Nation primary that has relatively high voter turnout, and that's in early February.
Right.
You know that about 99% of the people that are going in and coming out of the precincts are registered voters.
Wow.
Which,
good point.
if you're able to get people to sign petitions there, you've got a very high validity rate.
Heck yeah.
Are you anticipating any competition for like a primary or anything for the Libertarian governor spot?
I don't foresee anybody else jumping in at this point.
Well, a little bit of history here. The Libertarian Party of New Hampshire in 2016, due to, likely, is my theory, due to Trump and Hillary, got a a large number of votes in New Hampshire. It wasn't because their candidate, Max Abramson, was particularly noteworthy or did anything out of the ordinary or was in any way a particularly principled libertarian. But I think it was just that backlash against the 2 major parties that election that, as you guys know, at the national level, Gary Johnson, the Libertarian candidate, and I'll put quotes around that Libertarian, and the Green Party candidate, Jill Stein, got 3 times the number of votes they got in 2012. So those third-party votes were sort of lifted up in 2016, and I think the Libertarian governor candidate here in New Hampshire benefited from that. So for the first time in about 20 years, the Libertarian Party of New Hampshire attained the ballot access level of the Republicans and Democrats. So for 2018, Libertarian candidates were able to get on the ballot in New Hampshire without getting any petitions signed, without having to spend thousands of dollars on sending petitioners around to get this done. Unfortunately, that gubernatorial candidate in 2018 did not continue to get the same level of votes in 2016, and so the Libertarians lost ballot access. So here in 2020, now they got to get the petitions again, and that also means that there's now no state primary for the Libertarian Party, which they had in 2016. So this year, it will be decided at the convention, right?
Right, but if somebody were to jump in, then there would be a contested vote at the convention.
At the convention, but that's in like a month or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And it should be noted that in 2018, Max Abramson, instead of running for state rep as a Libertarian, he opted to run as a Republican. He's now running for the Libertarian Party's presidential nomination. And,
really?
Touting his experience as twice elected state rep.
Yeah, I don't think he's got a chance against
my campaign a little bit, where I know that nobody, formerly Rich Paul, is running on a cannabis legalization platform and saying that he would pardon all nonviolent drug offenders.
He said he would pardon all nonviolent offenders, I believe.
Yes, at least in an interview with me, that's what he said. So just mainly pardoning.
Let me just make one sort of slight correction. Unfortunately, governors in New Hampshire don't have a unilateral pardoning power.
Really?
They have to work with the executive council, which is the 5-headed lieutenant governor in New Hampshire.
So they can't pardon somebody without the executive council saying okay?
Correct.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
that's
why I made sure that in my press release I mentioned work with the executive council to pardon nonviolent drug offenders.
And that's a 5-person council made up, and it's just elected.
I didn't know they had that power. I knew that the executive council held some purse strings, like they have to approve certain expenditures. That's too bad.
Yeah, and I'm also running on a platform of, I believe everybody that has ever been convicted of a drug offense should actually be able to work in a retail cannabis industry.
That's a great change. Right. Can you stick with us? I know you said you might only have one segment. Do you have time for a second one?
Yeah, let's do one more.
All right, cool. Darryl W Perry here's with us.
855-450 free. Yes, we're loving talking to Darryl. Darryl was a voice on this night, and we're glad to have him back. 855-450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
What good is living in a free society if you don't live a free life? Being stuck in a job or being locked into a relationship, but you're not free to do what you want. I'm Caleb Jones, and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Come to our free webinar with a live Q&A with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
What is it costing you in vet bills for that convenience of just pulling open a bag of
formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways?
How do you feed your dog to derive not only energy, but a good coat, bright eyes, and a great attitude?
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
I found his raw meat diet on Dinovite.com. With just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dinovite and the Super Omega on top of it.
Try
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
Ground beef, white rice, eggs, including the shells, and the Dynavite supplement, and then the Lico Chops.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
It just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit.
Adding Dynavite to their diet has every single dog in my kennel looking better than they have ever looked.
Their skin is so much better now that they're on the raw diet. I don't even give them the kibble anymore.
DINOVITE.com.
And with advice of the council.
Fact. The new NSA data center in Utah requires 1.7 million gallons of water every single day to operate. Billions of Fourth Amendment violations need massive computers and the water to cool them. That water is being supplied by the state of Utah. Fact. There's absolutely nothing in the Constitution which requires your state to help the feds violate your rights. Our message to Utah: turn it off. No water equals no NSA data center. Visit offnow.org.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Chris.
And Ian.
And Vincent.
And with Darryl W Perry on the phone, just like, years of Thursday nights we did together. And I miss him dearly, but first I want to tell you about local.bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposits, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. That's local.bitcoin.com. And as I was saying, we got Darryl W Perry on the phone. You still with us, Darryl?
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yes, I am.
It's great to have you. I'm blessed.
Well, we got the press release, or I got the press release yesterday. I'm like, all right, we gotta have him on.
I saw it on social media, and you it got put in the which one? One of the big papers in New Hampshire. It was in the
Keene Sentinel. Wound up at least online publishing something. They did call me a Keene resident, so I had to send a correction to the author and said, I've not lived in Keene since earlier this year. And
nor are you a resident in New Hampshire.
Right.
Actually, I am now.
Really? What has changed? Because you used to be all about the inhabitant, because there's like a legal distinction between these two. We shouldn't probably get too deep into it.
So you sold out.
Well, hold on. So there is a distinction, and there's a court case on a law that was changed, and that's actually being argued in Manchester court right now. And one thing that's interesting is one of the new laws that went through where they slightly tweaked the definition of resident. The Secretary of State, when this bill was going through the legislature, was arguing we need to do this because voting. And now he's saying this doesn't change anything about voting. I don't even know why anybody's arguing voting. Well, probably because you kept saying we need this because voting. So that's HB 1264 and SB 3, both laws that I have said that I would work with the legislature to repeal. And one of those laws was actually repealed by the legislature and vetoed by the governor. But what had changed is part of the neurological problems that I'm having with the concussion. The neurologist said that I needed a handicap placard, and in order to get that, I needed to show the DMV New Hampshire residency.
I hate those guys.
Yeah, and so I wound up having to give the state of South Carolina several $100s to take care of a warrant for an unpaid traffic.
I was going to ask about that because I knew they had you held up back there. All right, let's get back to the campaign, though, because obviously we're short on time. You have granted us an extra segment here. So where did we leave off? Were you answering a question? I don't remember where.
I do have a question, but I could save it to the end.
I was talking about the pardoning power of the New Hampshire governor, and apparently there's some discussion. Jackie has told me in the Discord, and I pulled up the New Hampshire Constitution, and apparently there are a couple of conflicting interpretations of what the Constitution actually says, talking about pardons, where it says the governor with advice and consent of the council. And so it is sort of one of these things. Does that mean that the executive council has to approve everything, or they just recommend who gets pardoned?
And I wanted to say something before we get too far. All this discussion about, Darryl facing an uphill battle getting on the ballot, that's not just in New Hampshire. Ballot access, if you're not a Republican or Democrat, is exceedingly difficult regardless where you're at in the United States. It's in very few places that it's easy to get. That's why you only get two choices, Republican or Democrat. And for the rest of us, we fight to have our candidates be offered as a choice.
Right. And that's something that I definitely want to bring up during the campaign is the ballot access hurdles that we face here in New Hampshire, where unlike our friendly neighbors to the left of us in Vermont, where as long as the party is organized, and in Vermont, organized means that there are town committees in at least 10 municipalities across the state, then their candidates are placed on the ballot by virtue of filling out a form and being officially nominated by the party.
Wow. If it weren't such a socialist hellhole, that'd be worth moving for.
Yeah. And, Vermont, for basically forever, there has never been such a thing as a concealed carry permit. Luckily, New Hampshire now has what is referred to as constitutional carry, making the concealed carry permit optional. So, there are some good things that the current governor has done. There are also some bad things that the current governor has done, like his vetoing the death penalty repeal twice.
Which thankfully was overridden.
Luckily, the legislature overrode those vetoes in the House and the Senate by one vote in each chamber. No thanks to 35 supposed Liberty reps that decided to stand with the governor on his veto of that.
Sad.
New Hampshire would have had an independent redistricting commission had it not been for Governor Sununu. Our medical cannabis program would have been expanded even more than it already was. And there was a cannabis legalization bill that a Senate committee earlier this week voted to refer to interim study, which is basically a nice way of saying let's kill the bill, because the governor has said that he would veto if it wound up coming through. The governor has said that he would veto any legalization bills. And I believe that New Hampshire should join all of our neighbors and about half a dozen other states in allowing retail sale of cannabis. I also think that we need Portugal-style depenalization of all other substances.
Yeah, I was going to ask
These
you
are all
about
things standing, the governor standing in the way of.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about depenalization versus legalization?
By the way, I want to say we're once again short on time in this segment, and I know you said you had to go, Darryl. So if you got to go, we got it, but we do have more questions for you.
I can do it. I can do another segment.
Okay, thanks.
All right.
DarrylWPerry.com, by the way, is the campaign website. That's Darryl with 2 R's and 1 L, if I recall correctly. WPerry.com, and you are taking cryptocurrency donations.
I am, yes. Maximum donation is $5,000.
Wow. And that's because it's a state thing, because federal, it's like $2,000, isn't it?
Right. And I'm also agreeing to the voluntary spending limits, which means that I agree to not spend more than $625,000. If I were not agreeing to those limits, I could only get $1,000.
All right. So there was the question about depenalization. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. 8:55 for, excuse me.
Skip his network break. It's too important.
Got me.
Hey, if Jones could skip his network breaks, why can't we?
We're on the phone with Darryl W Perry, who you may remember from Thursday nights, but we certainly do. 8:55, 450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
You ever feel like you're in jail? A virtual jail because of your job or maybe your current relationship where you're not allowed to do what you really want? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Come to our free webinar with a live Q&A with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths. And I want yours to be as clean as possible, with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom, 855-450-3733. That's our toll-free number. That's how you can get in touch with us and get on the air. You can also use Discord. Discord is a very cool app. Just use the Discord app. You can download it at discord.com. Use your high-speed internet connection and your quality microphone, and you will sound like you are in the studio with us. In the studio tonight is Chris.
And Ian.
And Vincent.
And on the phone, we've got who? Darryl W Perry. Still with us, Darryl?
Thanks for having me. I am. Thanks for having me on.
So we were
gubernatorial candidate, Darryl W Perry.
We must be clear, yes.
For the Libertarian Party, although not official yet until the party convention, which happens in January, I believe January 11th, in Concord, New Hampshire. lpnh.org, the party website, if people want to go learn more about that. So, but you'd asked him a question, Chris, about decrim/depenalization.
He had thrown out the term depenalization of drug crimes or alleged crimes or whatever you want to refer to, and I wasn't sure if all our listeners were familiar. We hear decriminalization, we hear legalization, and now Darryl W. Perry throws out depenalization, Portugal style. Can you explain to us what you mean by that?
Yeah, so correction here, I'm not the one that came up with the term. I actually got the term from Human Rights Watch, from a report that they put out with the ACLU several years ago. And let me sort of clear up. There's a lot of people that think, decriminalization, that means that there's no penalty. Well, no, in most places there still is a penalty. It just becomes a civil violation, but you still have to wind up giving some government agency some money.
Right.
And with legalization, a lot of times that winds up not necessarily meaning tax and regulate, but that's really what you wind up seeing. So, a lot of times legalization is a metaphor or euphemism for tax and regulate, whereas depenalization would be a removal of all penalties, both civil and criminal. So there is no more, it's just like a parking ticket violation.
Right.
There is no more, your third offense becomes a misdemeanor. Well, if part of the thing becomes a misdemeanor where there are criminal penalties, it's not really decrim. And that's what we have in New Hampshire.
True.
With cannabis of right now 3/4 of an ounce. There was a bill, the text got released, I believe, earlier this week, last week, bill by New Hampshire Representative Rennie Cushing. He's the one that took the lead on repeal of death penalty,
right?
Where he wants to do sort of a Vermont-style legalization of up to 1.5 ounces of cannabis, and then expand the amount of hashish that is allowed, and also some home grow of a certain number of plants.
Now, when you say Vermont style, you mean there would be no storefront sales, but possession of it would be legal?
Possession would be legal, and then you would be able to gift someone a certain amount.
Excellent.
Gotcha.
And when you say hash, do you mean like all concentrates, or is it specifically hashish?
The bill mentions hashish. And then there's also
It's usually concentrates, though. That's
like
what
oil,
they. That's what they when they
Yeah.
decriminalized it, Vincent. They include that as sort of the hashish concentrates.
I see.
5
Okay,
grams,
yeah,
I think, is the
Gotcha.
decrim on that. Do you happen to know
and then
if long time
the bill
Go ahead.
the bill would increase that to 10, and
Oh,
then
wow.
it would also increase the amount of edibles to, I believe it was 500 milligrams, and then remove
Wow.
the current regulation is it must be in childproof containers where it's marked this, that, the other way. So it would remove some of those restrictions.
That would be
as well.
amazing. I know I spoke with Rennie at this year's ACLU awards dinner, and that was specifically what I talked to him about doing, because I talked to Mark Warden, longtime sponsor of Free Talk Live, also Liberty rep. I spoke with Mark earlier this year. I said to Mark, I said, this governor says that he is against legalization, but he signed a decrim bill. So why don't we put another decrim bill in front of him and decriminalize cannabis even further? Mark said he would work with Rennie on that. So I'm wondering did you happen to see who the co-sponsors were on that?
I did not pay attention to the list of co-sponsors. It was fairly lengthy.
Yeah.
So
good.
There's at least like half a dozen co-sponsors.
We could talk about cannabis for a whole hour, but let's get back into your campaign. Vincent, did you have a question for Darryl?
Yeah, I did, and it's just to get your perspective on it. There's no real way of knowing, but a lot of people blamed third-party candidates for losing Hillary Clinton via election. Obviously, particularly Jill Stein, but also Gary Johnson. And now there's reports of people being more partisan than ever, and people just in general are getting back into at least according to the mainstream media, are getting back into this left-right paradigm. Do you think that there might be a negative 2016 event where less people than average vote for third-party candidates just because people become so hyper-partisan now with Trump and whoever the Democrats decide to select?
It wouldn't really surprise me. And if you go back and you look over the last several elections where there's been, a high-profile third-party candidate, and I hate using that term, but that's how most of the media refers to the people like Ross Perot in '92, the Ralph Nader in 2000. Let's point the finger at this person and blame them because the result didn't turn out the way I wanted to.
Right.
Well, if Al Gore would have won his home state in the year 2000, Florida would not have even been in play.
Yeah.
If George Bush weren't horrible, George Bush would not have lost the 1992 election. And there are a lot of exit polls that show that Perot voters were almost split evenly between Perot and Clinton, or between Bush and Clinton.
Right.
And during the brief period of the summer where Perot was not in the race, Bush was still losing to Clinton in the polling. So it's just one of these sort of scapegoat things, but it always has a backlash against minor party and independent candidates. And we're seeing that in New York State right now, where they're wanting to, I believe, triple the vote threshold for a party to stay on the ballot, saying that they need to get rid of these sham parties. And part of why they call them sham parties is New York has fusion. So you have these groups like the Working Families Party, the Conservative Party, the Independence Party that are nothing more than ballot lines for the Republicans and Democrats. And, get rid of the actual sham parties, but don't also get rid of the Greens and the Libertarians when you're doing so.
Yeah.
And the easy way to do that is get rid of your party column ballot, like what they have in New York and what they have in New Hampshire. And then, you want the endorsement of 15 different parties? Okay, good. You're still only on the ballot one time.
Right.
All right. What else do we need to know fast about the campaign for right now?
DarrylWPerry.com, and you can donate, as you mentioned, in cryptocurrency. And everybody that donates that provides a Ravencoin address will get pork tokens.
Tell me about that real fast. What is that?
Yeah, so with Ravencoin, anybody can create a token, and I wound up, pork is available, PORC, and
Like
I'm going to, yes, like Porcupine, I'm going to use it as incentive to get volunteers, to get donors, At some point, you will be able to redeem the pork tokens for T-shirts, bumper stickers, yard signs, other campaign swag. You donate, you get some pork. You collect petitions, you'll get pork. And other volunteers, that will be given out at like various levels based on whatever the volunteer work happens to be. But it's something that hopefully will incentivize people to get involved with the campaign.
And you get 1 pork token for every $1 donated, correct?
And yes, and 5 for every petition.
Darryl,
sweet.
Thank you so much for the call. And
thanks for the extended
thanks
interview.
for having me on.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for having me on.
DarrylWPerry.com, DarryL, DarrylWPerry.com. Check him out.
855 450 free. That's free as in freedom. We
should have him back as the campaign develops too.
We do. We should have him back every Thursday.
We're coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
We can all agree these are troubled times, right? So do you know who's on your wireless network? Whether it's a big company selling your data or a foreign hacker, if you're not protected, everybody sees your information. That's why you need Flash Routers, a custom Wi-Fi router created for privacy. Flash Routers uses a virtual private network, or VPN, to protect your online activity from hackers, trackers, and large corporations. And not just one, but all your devices with one out-of-the-box setup. Plus, Flash Routers also enhances your wireless network performance and unlocks powerful router management tools to let you take total control of your network. Call or click Flash Routers today at 1-866-509-5817 or FLASHROUTERS.com. That's 1-866-509-5817 or FlashRouters.com. Protect your wireless home network today with Flash Routers.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
When commercials come on, don't push the button. Instead, listen. Even if you don't sell things for a living, you're still selling in the various conversations and transactions that make up your busy day. With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important, especially if you're a job seeker. So take a lesson from Madison Avenue. Often the fewer words, the more effective the message. Like Jiffy Lube, where you never need an appointment, or the Office Max ad that says, you supply the ambition, we supply everything else. How about online ticket broker StubHub.com, the way in when it's sold out, or CyberCupidMatch.com's seductive, go ahead, it's okay to look. How cleverly and succinctly can you distill your message? For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom, 855-450-3733. I wanted to tell you about the Edge wallet. It's not a leather wallet. It doesn't go in your back pocket. It's a crypto wallet. It's going to get loaded onto your cell phone. It is iOS and Android compatible. You can use it on pretty much any device you want. You can use it to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies. It's user-controlled, which means you own your money. You're the only one who has control of your money. There's support for BTC, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum tokens, Monero, Ripple, Stellar, and many, many more. It's a veteran team. They've been building apps since 2014, and they've been building in crypto. Our tagline is Secure Your Freedom. Go to edge.app. That's edge.app. In studio, it's Chris, Ian, and Vincent. And man, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but man, there's this white van story.
Nope, I've not seen this.
I haven't either.
Well, it says it's a rumor. On there, it says it's a rumor via the headline, but I saw, from where I saw it, it said like a police chief or someone official said that there was at least an investigation of a white van that was human trafficking people.
Exactly. That's how these things work, and it's amazing what governments sometimes fall for. And this comes to us from CNN Business. Facebook rumor about white vans is spreading fear across America. Dun, dun, dun. New York. Terrifying rumors initially propelled by Facebook's algorithms have sparked fears that men driving white vans are kidnapping women all across the United States for sex trafficking and to sell their body parts. This is terrifying.
I just
if
want
it were real.
Well, I just want to add that I don't know about your generation, but like in mine, the white van has been a meme before memes were mainstream. So anytime there was a white van, it was for whatever reason. I don't know if it was like a movie or something, but the connotation was someone who drove a white van. It was to kidnap someone.
Yeah,
like a pedophile or
something
a rapist.
Like that,
or
offering candy out of your van, stuff like that.
I don't know why white, though, if it's just so innocuous.
Right. While there's no evidence to suggest that this is happening, much less on a national coordinated scale, a series of viral Facebook posts created a domino effect that led to the mayor of a major American city issuing a warning based on the unsubstantiated claims. Now, this also is not unusual, where somebody saw something on Facebook and they got to get out there and save their citizens, and they frequently get made fun of. The latest online...
The site was .net, so it had to be legit, right?
Exactly, right? They had links. There were links in the story. The latest online-induced panic shows how viral Facebook posts can stoke paranoia and make people believe that spotting something as common as a white van can be deemed suspicious or connected to a nationwide cabal.
People actually believe that?
Yes.
Well, I will say, in all fairness, since you're reading from CNN, CNN and the mainstream media, they were able to get an entire country to go to war twice based off of BS reasons, right? A little girl who turned out to be an actress who testified before Congress saying that Iraqi soldiers were taking Kuwaiti babies out of incubators and, doing all sorts of Conan the Barbarian stuff to them.
Sure.
And then the second time they said, oh, yes, Saddam Hussein has weapons of mass destruction, therefore he's responsible for 9/11. So this was the same media that did that. So they've been doing this and spreading fake news and causing fake panic before Facebook was doing it.
Well, fear is what these people sell.
Right.
I mean, if you can't gin up fear among your viewers, you're not going to get them to tune in through the commercial break.
Exactly. Quote, don't park near a white van, unquote. Baltimore Mayor Bernard
Good luck.
Jack Young said in a TV interview on Monday, quote, Make sure you keep your cell phone on in case somebody tries to abduct you.
What are you going to do? I mean, if you actually pull up next to a white van in the Walmart parking lot or wherever it is that you are, and it actually is a van full of, masked thugs that slide the door open and they grab you as you're walking by to abduct you, what are you going to do? Grab your cell phone out, put in your passcode, and then dial some 911 or whatever, call your family or something to let them know? You're not going to have a chance to do that. These things happen in seconds.
Right. And it's not going to save you. It's not going to, oh my God, he's got a phone in his pocket. Back off, back in the van.
Yeah, nobody's going to know you're gone. If the thugs are smart, and they may not be, but if the thugs are even somewhat intelligent, they'll take the phone from you and either smash it or, turn it off or whatever.
The mayor said he had not been told of the apparent threat by Baltimore police, but said it was, quote, all over Facebook, unquote.
Wow.
Matthew Giblow, a spokesperson for the Baltimore Police Department, told CNN Business on Tuesday that while the department is aware of posts on social media, it has not received, quote, any reports of actual incidents, unquote. Indeed, while there is no hard evidence that any such phenomenon has happened in Baltimore, unconfirmed reports of suspicious white vans in Baltimore and other cities in the United States have been shared hundreds of thousands of times on Facebook in recent weeks and have been seen by potentially millions of Facebook users. At least one person who drives a white van has reported being harassed for it as a result of the rumors. Baltimore City Councilman Christopher Burnett, co-chair of the Baltimore City Human Trafficking Collaborative, told CNN Business that he worried that the panic about white vans would distract from the wider issue of human trafficking. Quote, we need to make sure accurate information is out there, especially because Baltimore is a hotbed of human trafficking in the country.
Now, what is it that these humans are being trafficked for? Is it sex slavery? Because that's usually kind of what goes along with the suggestion of, hey, human trafficking.
Human trafficking's going on.
You don't really hear too much about people being trafficked to go dig a ditch somewhere. It's usually associated with sex slavery. I mean, has anybody else heard anything else about human trafficking besides sex slavery?
Traditional slavery, too.
Or child soldiery also.
Right.
When you say traditional slavery, you don't mean like picking cotton in a field with a
probably
man with
not,
a whip.
Not that, but being forced to work at some job.
A drug field or a sweatshop.
Yeah, things like that.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean, of course, there is the human trafficking of the coyotes who take humans across the border.
Sure.
And, they've been hired to do that, and then in some cases they are sold into some form of slavery or indentured servitude on the other side. So I guess there is that aspect of it.
But I agree. It's usually about, sex trafficking, and I don't know. I can't say for sure. I mean, I did live near Baltimore, but most of what I know about Baltimore I learned from The Wire. But Baltimore is a high crime area, and I could see that. But, does that mean that every white van is filled with sex trafficked women?
Well, no, most likely, any sex trafficking it wouldn't just be totally white. It would have some sort of government insignia on the side.
Exactly.
Well, if people actually did think this, then that would actually encourage some guys to approach white vans in the hopes that they would find some sex trafficked people there so they could purchase their services.
Right.
I suppose. But so I think that, it's worth pointing out here, if you want to actually reduce human trafficking, you don't start a campaign of people freaking out about white vans. You advocate for the abolishment of prostitution as a crime.
This is Free Talk Live.
I think you're a little early there.
Yeah. The thing isn't.
Oh my God,
normally,
that was
That's right. Well, I mean, people are always going to want free services, right? So, I mean, I don't think that legalizing prostitution, I think it's, I don't think it should be illegal, but I don't think that's like the end-all, be-all that a lot of people think of like ending sex trafficking, legalizing prostitution.
Well, I don't think it would end all trafficking of human beings, but that's a primary driver for human trafficking is having people who are sex slaves. And a lot of that is just derived from the fact that prostitution's illegal. And so if you can take girls, from wherever. Maybe they're runaways or you've abducted them or whatever the story is. You can sell them at a lower price generally than you otherwise might be able to. And
only
you
the
can enslave
criminals
them.
are able. It's like drugs. Only the criminals are able to make any money off of it.
Sure.
Yeah. So if you actually had a legal product of prostitution, there would be a lot of competition. Price would drop because of the competition. It wouldn't be as attractive for the black market people, the criminals who are willing to do this sex trafficking, to actually engage in that act because they'd be competing with a legal marketplace that drove quality up and drove price down. So it was a lot harder for sex trafficked victims to even exist in that legal circumstance.
Well, and when people try to use their morals as the basis of laws, it doesn't always work out. It's the opposite reaction. 855-450-FREE. We are talking about Baltimore. We are talking about these terrifying white vans that are crisscrossing the country that are not, this story is not based on anything remotely resembling fact, but it made news and it made the mayor of Baltimore very panicky. This is Free Talk Live.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
Anarchapulco is the world's foremost conference for voluntarist thinkers and activists, held in beautiful Acapulco, Mexico. Share ideas on how to live free and escape the clutches of the state. Their unparalleled lineup of speakers will discuss entrepreneurship, investments, politics, philosophy, health, sustainability, lifestyles, and personal relationships. Stay in a world-class resort and enjoy the sun and beaches. February the 13th through the 16th. Visit anarchapulco.com for early bird pricing and 10% off with coupon code FTL.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,476, silver at $16.96, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,378. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, 5 of Jeffrey Epstein's accusers have said that the Duke of York was witness to the act of girls giving massages to adults at his various properties. And now, the accuser's lawyer plans to serve subpoenas to Prince Andrew to testify as a witness in their cases. While the prince contends he did not witness or even suspect any activities for which Epstein has either been convicted or accused, the lawyer for the 5 women, David Boyce, says the Duke of York may have important information related to their cases. The Mind Unleashed reports the subpoenas have been prepared, but must be signed off by a judge after the prince sets foot on U.S. soil. He can then challenge the subpoenas in order to avoid providing evidence if he wishes. Spencer Kubin, a lawyer who represents many of Epstein's alleged victims and once questioned the billionaire a decade ago, has urged the prince to come forward, saying on BBC Radio 4's Today, quote, "Be a man, stand up for what you believe, and what you're saying is the truth, and come forward," end quote. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Despite having gotten away with murder, Neighborhood Watch volunteer George Zimmerman has filed a $100 million lawsuit against the family of Trayvon Martin and attorney Ben Crump, claiming that they engineered false evidence against him. The Mind Unleashed reports that Zimmerman, who was acquitted of homicide charges in the 2012 shooting death of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin, is being represented by high-profile lawyer, founder of Judicial Watch and Freedom Watch, and former U.S. Department of Justice prosecutor Larry Klayman, in a lawsuit seeking damages for defamation, abuse of civil process, and conspiracy. Martin was shot and killed February 26, 2012, when he was returning to his father's home, whom he was visiting, after purchasing candy at a local store. Zimmerman reported Martin as suspicious in a call to police. Zimmerman claims he followed Martin after making the call and was attacked by the teen before killing him. Martin was unarmed, carrying only the Skittles and a drink he had just purchased. The Trump administration on Wednesday announced new measures that would end food stamp benefits for nearly 750,000 low-income people. The new rules would make it difficult for states to gain waivers from a requirement that beneficiaries work or participate in a vocational training program, according to a report from Bloomberg. Republicans have long attempted to make the change. House Republicans tried to cut parts of the federal food assistance program last year, but it was quickly rejected in the Senate. The new requirements by the Trump administration would only target able-bodied recipients who are not caring for children under the age of 6. Sources said the measure would be one of 3 enacted by the Trump administration to wind down the massive federal food assistance program. The measures are expected to boot nearly 3.7 million recipients from the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, known as SNAP. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Shortly after having sexual intercourse with a prostitute earlier this afternoon, local man Jacob Reynolds told reporters that he never expected the experience would bring him to new heights of emotional and spiritual fulfillment.
I was convinced that having sex with a complete stranger behind my wife's back would leave me feeling drained and empty on the inside, but my self-esteem is through the roof.
Reynolds, who said he paid $150 for a 30-minute block of time, said that his moderate expectations for the encounter were instantly surpassed by what turned out to be a deeply personal sexual communion that transported him to a new plane of emotional intimacy.
I've never felt a stronger sense of spiritual connection. When our bodies met, there was an immediate sense of familiarity and comfort that just washed over me. I think it was the most meaningful experience of my life.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom. 855-450-3733. Hour number 2. We were joined in hour number 1 from former Thursday host Darryl W Perry. But we also talked a little bit about white vans and Just telling you folks, be careful if you see a white van. At least that's what some people believe, and those people are in government, and there's absolutely nothing to this idea that white vans are out there carousing America, trying to find women to steal, kidnap, and traffic. But they would make you believe that. We are going to talk a little bit about respect. Respect is important, and I think respect has to be earned. Would you agree with that?
I will say this. I will respect people generally by default just because they're a human being.
Okay.
I don't want to treat somebody with disrespect if I don't know anything about them.
That's true.
If, however, they do something that removes my respect for them, like, perhaps engages in fraud or hurts somebody or is just generally scummy or whatever, you got to do something to make my little, respect meter go in one direction or another.
That's a good way of putting it.
What if you encounter someone, you refer to a gentleman as Mr., but he was a veteran and insists on being referred to as Lieutenant? Would you respect him by referring to him as the title he requests?
No, I call people by their name.
Not.
Well, no, but you have a prefix, right?
Bob.
Like,
no, I don't call judges Your Honor. I don't call.
That many would consider that disrespectful, no matter if it's a doctor, a professor, a PhD.
You know what? A doctor, I don't have a problem with that because that person is, they earned that title voluntarily.
So like PhD
somebody
holders.
who's in the military, somebody who's in the police, a judge. These people believe they have power over you and they're willing to use violence against you. So I don't respect that, and so therefore I would not call them by their title. But I got no problem calling a doctor.
Doctor.
Right.
Well, Bill Barr, he is the Attorney General of
the top cop.
Top cop. The United States says the communities that don't show law enforcement more respect may lose their police protection.
Is that a promise?
Apparently. Attorney General, this is coming to us from USA Today. Attorney General William Barr said that if communities don't show more respect to law enforcement officers, they may, quote, lose police protection, unquote. Barr made the comments, which have drawn criticism in some liberal groups and commentators at an awards ceremony Tuesday, honoring officers and deputies for distinguished service in policing, unquote.
Well, he's not being honest, first off, because the police don't have an obligation to protect you, number one.
Right.
The Supreme Court has ruled that time and time again. And he's also not clarifying if it's true what he's saying is that if, the whatever community we're talking about here loses police protection, let's say Detroit, for instance, where it actually came out in the news a couple of years ago that one area of Detroit, and I don't remember what it was, but a certain section of Detroit had actually lost police services in that the police would not respond to calls.
Right.
And the police precinct or whatever that was in that area just decided they were going to start closing after dark. So it used to be that you could, go in and report a crime or whatever, get some lame assistance with whatever had happened. Now you can't go in until the daylight hours. So the services that were being offered there were scaled back tremendously.
Okay.
And as a result of this, people started to take care of themselves. They started to form neighborhood watch groups. They hired private protection services to provide whatever protection that they needed. The market came in and filled in the gaps. That's where the Threat Defense Center was. I don't know if they were based in that particular neighborhood or whatever, but Threat Defense Center is a private protection agency that offers various different levels of private protection there. But what Barr didn't point out here is that police department's still getting funding.
Right.
They may not be protecting that community, but they're still getting their paychecks paid for. So it's like the worst of situations.
You got to realize, I mean, if you put on that uniform, and you go out into the street, you're putting your life on the line. And maybe part of your job, maybe you're in.
Yeah, you get putting your life on the line, eating donuts, getting fat, sitting in your car,
It's not all
typing, surfing porn while driving at 90 miles an hour on the highway.
Okay. That was a one-time
garbage
thing.
video.
One time the guy got
than
caught at. I was thinking about, busting drug houses. I mean, when the police get calls about serious drug dealing going on at a house, and the officer actually gets a bogus arrest warrant and does a no-knock raid and shoots 2 people, that cop who murdered 2 people for no reason whatsoever, he, according to the Attorney General of the United States, absolutely, those police deserve your respect. And if you don't show your respect, then see, that's a whole thing. I mean,
okay, boomer. All right, Dad. Thanks for the lecture, Dad. Time to give you your Cheerios and roll you back to bed.
The idea that because of somebody's uniform, because of somebody's job that they've chosen, has nothing to do with whether they deserve respect or not. Would you agree?
Totally agree.
Yeah, and
they're an individual, and they deserve or don't deserve respect based on their choices and the things they say and do.
Your words and your actions, and this idea just boggles the mind. In his speech, Barr compared.
Well, this is all. Hold on, this is all they've got at this point.
Sure,
he can't force people to respect the police. He wants them to respect the police, so he has to resort to threats.
Well, they
haven't earned it.
No, you can see. I can see a world where being disrespectful to police officers becomes more of a crime. If
it's
you
already something they'll arrest you for. You flip the cops off, you get arrested. Now,
right.
You challenge it, you should win. In most cases, those arrests are overturned. But in the meantime, you've sat in jail for a day or 2 or whatever.
And I could see the political, winds definitely blowing for harsher penalties on any kind of disrespect towards police. I mean, it's not hard to imagine.
Well, I don't know. In some places, yeah, but in other places, you have in New York, what was it because people were upset that they were getting prosecuted. My understanding is they were getting upset they were getting prosecuted for jumping over ticket. You have a ticket machine, turnstiles. Sure. They would riot against cops. People in New York would pour water on cops. Yeah, they would get charged later for it because it was a big news story. But you'd have massive marches because of obviously Black Lives Matter. That movement sort of fizzled out. But you would have whole blocks of people covering blocks, just mobs of people chanting pigs in a blanket, fry 'em like bacon, what do we want, dead cops, when do we want it now? So I think there's a lot of issues with plenty of cops. And I mean, yeah, sure, Ian and our experience giving out flyers is a lot of people would say F the police or talk about how much they hate cops, but the second a cop shows up, they immediately wet themselves and prostrate themselves.
Right.
So it's I think their stranglehold on people is mainly through fear and whatever in my opinion metaphorically retarded boomer tier arguments about back in the glory days, the golden days, back in the golden days, back when cops actually protected people and weren't a Gestapo Nazi occupation force, so basically a private army.
Right. And that's what I remember. I remember, getting busted with beer from our local sheriff, and
as like a teenager or something?
As a teenager, yeah. And he took the beer and drove back to my dad's, and that was
who ended up with the beer?
My dad. Yeah. So, and I got more punishment out of that than I would have got. Take me to jail,
juvie. Yeah, you would have been thrown into juvie. Yeah, they throw a book at these kids,
of course. In his speech, Barr compared
that makes kids better. Put them in with a bunch of other delinquents.
Well, no, it turns them into useful idiot criminals for the state and also slave labor. For private prisons, and it turns, if a kid gets started in juvie, then he's going to become most likely, become a hardcore criminal and just serve the system, even more.
Barr compared being in law enforcement to being in the military. It took decades for Vietnam War vets to earn respect, but he's going to keep fighting for our police so they get the respect what he feels they deserve. 855-450 free. What do you think? I mean, should respect be based on a uniform or should it be based on actions? This is Free Talk Live.
Do you wish you could do whatever you wanted in your dating and relationship life, even if you're married? Do you wish you made more money on less hours? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Come to our free webinar with a live Q&A with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale, totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Free Talk Live.
They believe, I think, that government can be good as long as you just elect the right people, which, of course, is nonsense. Government can never be good because it's an agency of coercive force. It doesn't matter who's running it. It doesn't matter what the goals of the organization are. As long as it's funded through coercion, as long as it's funded through threats of violence, then nothing it can do is ever moral or justified. They understand the system and they want to work inside it to change it. So, therefore, in order to have their hunger strike that they'd planned, which I thought was a great idea, they went to the government, and what they do?
Ask for a permit?
They asked for a permit. They asked for a permit. It was already over at that point, right? Whenever you ask permission from the government, you might as well expect them to say no. No!
You know what? It sounds like government has this non-cooperation thing down to a science.
Yeah, right?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom. 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Chris.
Hey, it's Ian.
And Vincent.
But first, I wanted to tell you about Divvy. The next generation is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe with only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, fiat, right in the mobile app, and withdrawing directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, as Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered master nodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. While it launches because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org. That's divvyproject.org. This is a mouthful. I gotta look into Divvy. So we have been talking about William Barr, who is just beside himself, demanding that police be shown respect, regardless of what they've done, apparently. And, he's just hearkening back to the good old days. When the troops came home from Vietnam, when they left, there were parades and everything. When they came back, they were being spit on. But, quote, when police roll out of their precincts every morning, there are no crowds along the highways to cheer them on. And when you go home at the end of the day, there's no ticker tape parade, unquote. Barr said Americans instead need to focus on, quote, the sacrifice and the service of law enforcement. Sacrifice, yes. They have to sacrifice. They do have to put in a full day's work, more or less.
They have to sacrifice having a respectable career.
They do. They do have arguably one of the best pension systems of anyone. I mean, those are all sacrifices.
I will say that just based off the arguments I've heard from my father, who's like total Blue Lives Matter and everything, that when I say sacrifice, like there's been cop killing. There's always been cop killing.
Sure.
Recently, there's been there's like in like Austin or some place in Texas. There was like this guy who was like affiliated with Black Lives Matter, and he sniped and killed like 6 cops. He was a guy who had to have a robot blow him up, which is awful. Anytime anyone gets killed, it's awful. But it's at the same time, it's not like, I'm not blaming those cops for anything in particular, but that was in response to just the total police state we're living in, or that the guy was living in. So I'm not saying that it's, anyone deserves to die, but it was in response to something. The cops certainly aren't innocent, and it's just the police, as in the United States, as an institution itself, isn't totally innocent. Obviously, I don't think I have to constantly stress this out just so I don't get pulled over constantly after saying is that, individual people don't deserve to die, but there's not like a total innocence. The police certainly kill all sorts of innocent people and get away with it. They throw flashbangs that end up in babies' cribs and ends up mutilating and scarring the child for life. They murder dogs, murder people, throw people in prison for years for crimes they didn't commit, organize against it. And people say, oh, well, that's just the cream of a crop of a bad. Well, no, if it was just a small percentage, then it wouldn't be going on to the extent like in nearly every town, every state, every county, something like this is going on. There's some mafia of cops out there.
Well, the few bad apples, and they don't think about the rest of that, which is a few bad apples spoil the whole.
It's a lot of bad apples.
It's the few bad apples spoil the whole bunch. Now, policing must be very dangerous work. It must be one of the most dangerous jobs out there, right?
Most
Actually,
likely
no.
not.
No, it's not even in the top 10.
There wouldn't be so many fat cops if it was that dangerous.
If you're a lumberjack here in the Northeast, if you're a roofer, those jobs, you're much more likely to get seriously injured or killed than you are as a police officer.
That's not to say there aren't risks as a cop.
And they certainly are. But there are also risks.
You could get diabetes. You could choke on food if you're shoveling it down your mouth too much. You could.
Donuts are deadly.
Oh, absolutely. They're hard to chew, right? It's just a bunch of carbs.
Wow. I was just thinking, sprinkle lives matter. Maybe we could do that. But garbage men. Garbage men get injured, maimed,
garbage
killed.
People. You're using antiquated gendered language. Garbage people.
Okay.
Plenty of women. I'm sure plenty of women. Okay, Mrs. Millennial. That's what it is. Zoomer. Plenty of women, I'm sure, want to be garbage collectors and work on oil rigs and lumberjacks and be policemen and firemen. Police people and fire people.
Garbage men.
Garbage people.
There's got to be a better term than that. How about like professional waste disposal?
Waste disposal.
Or something.
Or like city waste disposal staff, or unless it's
I appreciate your feedback, Vincent. I really do, and I take it to heart. But anyway, garbage men get injured every day.
Oh yeah,
and this is a dangerous job. They get injured more often than police officers. So I'm trying to figure out what Barr is trying to do.
But I'll tell you what, garbage men are definitely more appreciated than the police because, man, somebody's got to do that job, and I'm grateful for the people who are willing to do it.
Absolutely.
That's a crappy job.
Right.
Well, yeah, but I mean, they have a symbiotic relationship with cops because otherwise we would just burn all of our garbage. But if we do that, the police will show up. So I mean, they're sort of protecting each other there. It's a racket.
Actually, the fire department will show up if you burn garbage.
Well, yeah, but what are they going to do? Threaten you with an axe? Spray you with a fire hose like it's a civil rights riots? What are they going to do with fire? Mark is going to show up. Or
Mark is our co-host, who is a volunteer fireman.
That's right.
Works for the state. Total sellout.
But this whole idea, it just amazes me that this sort of thought does occur. Do these people not read social media? Do they not read the papers? Do they not see...
Which people? The bar types?
The bar types.
Cop worshippers?
Yes. Do they not see how many times the police have done things that... And this is the case when a cop does something wrong, he's going to, the loss of respect for police officer is going to be 10 times if it were just directed at one person. It's going to be directed at them as a group. Now, how does that make you feel, police officers, when you're being treated collectively because of how the worst example of police behaves?
That's not fair.
Right, and that's how, unfortunately, police sometimes treat citizens when they decide that they're going on the warpath for whatever happens.
Well, plus a lot of the time they just treat people like they're suspects. I mean, if the cops are pulling you over, if the cops are talking to you, there's a good chance they suspect you of something, and they're looking to conduct an investigation and gather information that they will then use to arrest you.
I'm going to plug a book, Rise of the Warrior Cop. Have you guys read this? Radley Balco.
I haven't read it, but
absolutely
I'm sure it's great.
Excellent, and it's one everybody should read, and every politician should read, and you should see some of these examples of what he documents in the book, and
the militarization of the police.
And some suggestions on what could work and what has been done in other communities around the country. 855-450-FREE. What do you think? Do police just automatically deserve our respect, or are those days gone? I look forward to Andy Griffith. This is Free Talk Live.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app, and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom. 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Chris.
Hey, Ian here.
And Vincent.
And I wanted to tell you about a better plan. Are you sick and tired of Washington politicians making decisions about you and your family's health care? Obamacare, which was supposed to be affordable health care with a choice, turned out to be not much of a choice at all, has turned into high-price insurance with little choice. The team at betterplans.net believed there was a better way to do health insurance, and they figured it out. Call 800-714-1802 to get a fast and free quote. The truth is that you can get affordable health plans that cost hundreds of dollars less per month. However, the first step is to become aware of how the wool is being pulled over your eyes. Download their free ebook, Dirty Little Secrets, at betterplans.net. See their sample plan pricing for plans every bit as good as the major provider plans for as little as $145 a month for a single, and even greater savings for families and businesses. Gain access to educational videos and a free quote, plus your free ebook, Dirty Little Secrets, at betterplans.net. Obamacare enrollment deadline is December 15th, so don't delay. Visit betterplans.net or call 800-714-1802. In studio, it is Chris.
We did that already.
We did that already.
But I'm Ian.
Just getting Alzheimer's there. You're Alzheimer's.
I do it. No. I've done it before a bunch of times.
It's that boomer. Plus, I had, along with Darryl W Perry, he's got a little brain damage going on or something from his concussions. I was bit by a tick. So I've
done it. And I've never been bit by a tick. I've done it multiple times.
Oh, because you're a flatlander, and you never leave a house, and you never leave your lawn.
I think we were out today actually at the Thirsty.
Well, excuse me, you never leave the sidewalk pavement. Excuse me, you're not a mountain person like I am.
I see.
You don't got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun, and you don't know about roaches.
I know a lot about roaches. I'm from Florida.
Sitting on my lap.
I've seen roaches bigger than any roach you probably.
I like it when they sit on my lap.
The roaches?
Roaches, you could.
You don't get the reference.
I get it. I watched the thing with Biden. It was hilarious.
It's hysterical. I don't even know where to go with that story. I'd love to find.
I actually remember the point I had about the bar story. But yeah, I mean, I think this just shows how controlled the media is, but with this narrative, or either by the Democratic Party or by a narrative. That you have Joe Biden, who is just says the weirdest, most bizarre things, like saying, I was there when he said Keene was part of Vermont. I was there. Like, he was right outside Lindy, or what used to be Lindy's.
Well, I mean, there is
that
an
I could
argument.
understand. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, many people just consider hyperbolically that Keene is part of Vermont.
Right. That's not what he meant, though.
No, absolutely not. No. And it's sad. And I mean, it's like you're seeing this man who's just in the depths of senility saying all this weird stuff. I mean, let alone the smelling hair and, hey, you're 10 years old, I'll see me outside, we could go on a date, or
Those
whatever
videos,
weird,
man. Those videos with
of
him
the hot
feeling up
the,
kids is really
the
they're
hot
creepy.
mics. But that's the thing, that doesn't get on the news, right? Donald Trump gets in, who has his problems of his own. He gets 2 scoops of ice cream at whatever White House bread and circus Roman Roman Empire decline event, and that's national news, right? Trump says that he had Big Macs and McDonald's takeout stacked a mile high. Then the news is like, oh, Trump is lying. He did not have.
You can't stack.
Oh yeah, that's
Big
what's getting
Macs a
covered.
mile
I mean, it's just
high.
so
Yeah, you're
ridiculous.
When was this? Is this
Oh
recent?
god, no, this was
was
like
this
around
when
a
he had
year
the
ago.
the basketball team in the White House and they had like McDonald's and Domino's Pizza? Or whatever?
And there's a theory.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, and there's a theory that the reason why Trump gets so much takeout is because he's afraid of poisoning and assassination. That's one theory. But anyway, speaking of Trump and the deep state, you asked, I guess rhetorically asked Chris about like if Attorney General William Barr is that out of touch with his thing about it, talking about cops, and I mean I don't think he's doing this.
Of course he's out of touch. Wait a minute. Of
in
course
general,
he is.
Well, okay,
Sure.
excuse me. I'm trying to get my point. In general, yeah, all of these people are out of touch. But the thing is, I don't think he's virtue signaling to the police. He's defending his. These guys are his lackeys. I mean, Barr is deep into the deep state. His father, Donald Barr, is suspected to have given Epstein his first insider job. I mean, this guy is a swamp creature. I mean, he was. we don't have time to get into it now, but I mean, Barr is definitely part of the. Is definitely a hard Yeah, I mean, so he's defending his lackeys.
He's the worst of the worst. I mean, you don't get to be the Attorney General without being a real scumbag.
And he's a Bushite, too. So, Trump appointing a Bushite, this guy's part of a swamp, so he's defending his lackeys. He's defending
and he's
goons,
surrounded by these people. I mean, so you ask the question of, is he unaware of what people think about the police? Well, I mean, obviously he knows some people disrespect the cops, right? Like, so he's become aware of that. But these kind of people are surrounded by yes men. They're surrounded by people who want to curry favor with a man who has power. And so everybody that's around him is going, oh, yes, Mr. Barr, you're absolutely right. Oh,
We've
yes.
got to do something.
Yeah, and most of the people that he associates with are cops or attorneys, U.S. attorneys, people in law enforcement. These folks have their own little world. In the same way that, we associate with people in the liberty movement for the most part. I mean, you aren't the same way, Chris. You've got a public-facing business. You get a lot of people in the, just general folks coming in that you get to interact with more often than, say, I do.
Sure.
But it all has to do with who you surround yourself with. And these guys are not surrounding themselves with critics. They're not surrounding themselves with people who might tell them that something's amiss.
And people, the police and Barr and everyone else in law enforcement, and law enforcement includes Barr. He's at the very top of law enforcement. This is the change that's happened since we declared war on drugs, and this was a pivotal moment in America.
I would like to say I did not declare war on drugs.
Of course not. But the country did, and
the United States government,
specifically Nixon did. And what that meant was the enemy is us. Because they absolutely knew that regular people were fond of illegal drugs.
And Nixon specifically knew, and his attorney, whoever it was at the time, has spoken since then and has admitted that they did the war on drugs specifically to target blacks and hippies.
Exactly.
They wanted to put those people in jail, but they knew they couldn't outlaw blacks and hippies.
Can't be illegal to be black.
Well, also, I mean, it's a
thing.
war on competition because the number one drug dealer on the planet is the United States government. And
what do you mean when you say that?
Well, you heard of Gary Webb, right?
Yeah.
So Gary Webb exposed that the CIA was running drug trafficking. You have, and a lot of this is like deep research, and you're not going to see in the mainstream media. But a lot of and it's a lot of it's anecdotal, but there's a lot of reasoning to suggest, and evidence too that the government benefits from drug dealing, right? Because
they do.
They're able to fund whatever the CIA, the cocaine importation agency.
They can fund black projects and stuff like that. I seriously doubt that the CIA and these other groups could actually be as efficient as the free market at bringing illegal drugs into our country.
Well, but they sell the drugs, but it's for like out of maliciousness rather compared to like the free market or just your average your average corner street drug dealer who does it out of profit. And these people have resorted to murder. I think it's pretty much like most people would agree. Gary Webb, like people who know about it, it's like Gary Webb definitely was murdered or arkancided or whoever was the president at the time. And so it's all about. I mean, just think that's the important thing. We have that sign there that says to stop calling the government the government. You got to start calling it a gang. That the United States government, at least whether it's the deep state or the Trump's faction or the Dixie Mafia, like Bill Clinton or whatever cabal of Bush, Reagan, Gerald Ford, those folks. It's just gangs. It's just rival gangs. And the United States government happens to be the most powerful organized crime syndicate on the planet. In the continental U.S.
Yeah,
there's bigger ones that the Rothschilds and stuff are the biggest on the planet.
I don't disagree.
Yep.
The idea that police not earn.
We went real deep down the rabbit hole there.
No, it's good. That they deserve our respect regardless of what they do. We disagree, but we're going to tell you about some exciting findings that have nothing to do with the police.
PMS coming up.
PMS 855 450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
How would you like to hit the range tomorrow with a brand new gun? Because the United States Concealed Carry Association wants to give you a free gun right now. That's right, completely free. The USCCA is here to give every responsibly armed American the education, training, legal, and financial protection they need. And today, they're giving you not one, but 4 free chances to win $1,000. Simply text GCN to 87222 to get entered now, and you'll get 4 free chances to win $1,000 for any gun you want. Text GCN to 87222 and get entered today. But remember, these free guns won't be around forever, and you can't win if you don't enter. So don't miss out. Just text GCN to 87222 and get your 4 free chances to win now. That's GCN to 87222.
Hey guys, it's Sue Cosner, your favorite sexual health expert, with another version of Ask the Pro. This month, I got a letter from Sandy in Seattle about an explosive bedroom secret she and her husband recently discovered. She writes, Dear Sue, my husband and I used to have a great life in the bedroom, but in the last few years, he has struggled. He's tried about everything, but nothing has worked. Then one day he came home and gave me a night I will never forget. He told me about this secret formula, Noxatril, that changed our life in the bedroom once and for all. Wow, Sandy, you beat me to it. I recommend Noxatril to every guy that struggles in the bedroom. It's the only one. Noxatril is all natural and works to increase blood flow fast. It's like that little blue pill on steroids. Noxatril has a special free bottle offer, shipped discreetly to your door.
To find out how to get your bottle of Noxatril, call 800-421-0954. 800-421-0954. Get your free bottle for a limited time. Call now. 800-421-0954. 800-421-0954.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
Who told you to go this way? You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring Simon to the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait
now.
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men.
working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom. 855-450-3733. That's our telephone number. That's the number to get on the air and tell us what's on your mind. But first, I want to tell you about LibertyCon. LibertyCon is a unique Liberty convention April 3rd to the 5th in Washington, D.C. for people who want to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations for the purposes of career advancement or business and internship opportunities. You're going to hear a bunch of incredible speakers. Think former CEO John Mackey of Whole Foods. Yeah.
I think he still is the CEO.
Is he? He may be.
Yeah, he didn't get the boot when Bezos bought it out. They kept him on. Last I heard.
I stand corrected. Yeah. Vernon Smith, Nobel Prize winning economist. Miriam Issa. Nassim Nicholas Taleb, and many, many more. There's going to be up to, I think, something like 70 speakers total. I
think it's 70 liberty organizations. I don't know how many speakers they're going to have. That's like 70 groups that are going to be in attendance. So there's probably going to be like a big room. I'm just guessing. I've never been to this conference, but I will be going.
You will be going because Free Talk Live is going to be there too. It's going to be cool. And you can find out more details about the speakers and events and use coupon code FTL for a $10 discount at your registration.
Which is a huge discount because it's only like an $80 ticket.
It's really affordable. Yeah. Visit libertycon.com for more information. If you're a student, student travel scholarships are available. That's and awesome. Discount rooms are available for everyone at the Marriott Marquis. Save on early registration at libertycon.com. Use coupon code FTL for that $10 discount.
Yeah, you ought to check that out, Vincent. See what the travel scholarships. What do you got to do to get one of those? Find out.
Oh, yeah, definitely I will.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're only going to be a student for like another semester.
Yeah, then I lose all these benefits. I won't have Amazon Prime anymore.
Man.
Well, that's harsh.
Tough
well,
living.
I mean, not probably for Babette. I mean, I don't really support a lot of her policies.
Really? I find that hard to believe.
What?
Oh, no.
Well, I don't support, people being worked to death as slaves and, what was it, Jeff Bezos
I've got a story,
not paying any tax and all that other garbage.
I have a story that I've had in show prep for several days that's a woman who worked for an Amazon facility, one of those shipping facilities.
Yep.
Fulfillment
center?
Yeah, fulfillment center. She talks about what the job is like. She quit after a month, and she gets into some of the dirty details of exactly how grueling this is.
We'll get to that.
We could.
Yeah. Yep. First, we're going to go to Discord, where we've got Turd Ferguson. Turd, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yeah, hey guys, thanks for taking my call. The reason why I'm calling in is just because I actually had a message for Darryl, and I wish I would have thought to call in right after.
Well, he may not be listening at the moment. I mean, he's pretty busy with his campaign. I suspect he just did his campaign appearance, and we had him on most of the first hour.
Yeah.
I mean, you're welcome to say what you want to say, but I can't guarantee you he's going to hear it. If you want to send a message to him, you should probably email him.
Yeah, sure. Well, I'd be happy to do that too. But Darryl, I would invite you to come into the chat so I can just ask you a few questions since you're running for governor and all that. About libertarian principles and how you defend them and how you would defend them in debates as the governor, specifically relating debates with Sam Cedar you had. And look, if you don't want to have the talk in Discord, I've left the link in the Discord chat to my Discord, so you can call the show.
Okay.
He doesn't like Discord though, so I don't know if that's going to work out.
It is a fed honeypot.
Well, if all else, you could just have Jackie message me, and I'll give him my phone number so he can call my show tonight, and we can discuss it there if he doesn't want to.
Definitely knows how to message.
If you go to his website, darrellwperry.com, I believe there's a contact email address there. I would recommend you reach out to him and invite him on. I know he is willing to do media interviews for his campaign for governor, so try that way. I wouldn't count on Jackie, who's his wife, and she's a little hostile towards Free Talk Live and Free Talk Live's listeners tonight in our chat room. So I wouldn't really count on her to do anything for you. You probably should just reach out to him directly.
I just want to let everyone do that. I just want to let everyone know, but I am totally willing, in order to get this dialogue out in the open, to host on Questioning Authority at Saturdays 10 p.m. on LRN.FM. I am willing to moderate and host a debate between Jackie and Ian to get these issues out in the open.
There's
talk
nothing
about
to
some
debate.
freedom. I'm totally willing to.
She's upset with how the breakup. She's upset with how the breakup happened.
Turd, thanks for your call.
Between Free Talk Live and Darryl, and it had everything to do with her and nothing to do with him. So of course she's going to be upset about that.
Of course,
you're afraid to debate her. It's okay, Ian.
The phones are open anytime. The phones are open anytime.
And you can curse on QA if you want to call in too. So that'd be even better.
Yeah, if she wants to call in, she can.
There you go.
She won't.
We're going to stay on Discord where we've got Bad Slave. Bad Slave, you're on Free Talk Live. Can you hear me?
You got to turn that down.
Turn your...
Yes, of course.
Like sooner rather than later.
Like
please.
Right now.
All right, just put him on hold or something. I don't know what he's doing there.
I've got volume here.
Okay, we're going to put you on hold.
Put him on hold until he gets that fixed.
I'm sorry, I'm just channeling Bill Cooper because back when he had a shortwave radio and people would call in and because they would be listening right next to the radio though, it wasn't audio.
Right.
So he would be like, turn your radio off, and like, oh, hey, what Bill, could you hear me? And he would just be like, turn your and you would he had a lot more bass. Turn your radio off, and the guys go, oh, excuse me, sorry. But yeah, it is grating to hear.
It's tough. We're going to try Bad Slave again. Bad Slave, are you still there?
I am.
Okay, and I don't hear that radio.
Much better. Thank you.
You're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
I'm sitting here struggling with the thing. It was buried under a few windows, and I found it. So
okay, Boomer. See, Bad Slave calls in. I can call Bad Slave Boomer. Bad Slave can call me Boomer because
Are you a Boomer? Aren't you Gen X?
I am. The baby.
Confused.
I am the youngest baby Boomer.
Really?
1964. So that was the last year of baby boomers. So,
okay, Boomer.
Easy there. Okay, Bad Slave, what do you got for us?
Well, are we on the? We're not on the call yet.
We're on the radio.
Yes, we are. You're on the radio.
Oh, okay. Well, it's about
No,
police
we don't know.
and respect.
Okay.
And I wanted to say something about Bob Barr.
Okay.
I want to ask him a question, or anyone that is a lover of LEOs, and I think LEO is a more
law
accurate
enforcement officer.
reference. Law enforcement officer,
okay.
Way more accurate to what they do than police or protecting and
Is
serving.
it though? I mean, isn't law enforcement officer just kind of a colloquialism for paid thug?
Well, I think it's clear it actually spells it out, though.
The thing is that they enforce the law, and we know how much of that law is actually bad and ought be ignored and void because it's actually unconstitutional.
Would you rather? Yeah, I kind of liked when we had peace officers
and sunset clauses
keeping
and a whole lot less law.
Right.
They've been making laws this whole time,
Sure.
But it's crazy. I do remember Bill McGuire. Is it McGuire?
I have no idea
who that is.
He was the House Speaker a while back, and actually was the time when we got 10% knocked off of the state budget. But Bill, I heard him say that he was going to take a whole segment of the 2-year term and turn that into just repeals.
I would love to see it. That's what Washington needs to do.
There should be most of the time should be dedicated to repealing laws.
Well,
because
you say repeal, but I mean, just what we said about law enforcement. We had peace officers. We didn't have the idea of law enforcement as it is today. Hasn't been around for long, but because of the media and television, and people think, oh, this is how it always has to be. And in fact, we need even more police and law enforcement. So I don't think anything is going to get repealed ever anymore in this current system of government.
Well, that's been the practice, of course.
Except the Second Amendment and First and Fourth, and probably the whole Bill of Rights that could get repealed. I think I see it's most likely that'll get repealed.
Right.
The Bill of Rights is established, hasn't changed.
No, plenty of people want to repeal the Second Amendment.
References a list of rights. It doesn't. It's not about laws. The laws are part of what we as individuals have created.
But you have plenty of people who want to repeal the amendments. They want to repeal the Second Amendment. They want to repeal the Fourth Amendment. And they have power. They're getting power.
Bad
you have
slave.
Beto
Thanks for your
O'Rourke,
call.
Kamala Harris, these thugs, these mobsters, these gangsters, these villains.
Hey, Free Talk Live.
Set your own schedule, work, play, or sleep whenever you want, 7 days a week. Are you free to date whomever you want, even if you're already married? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Come to our free webinar with a live Q&A with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,476, silver at $16.96, and Bitcoin is trading around $7,378. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, 5 of Jeffrey Epstein's accusers have said that the Duke of York was witness to the act of girls giving massages to adults at his various properties. And now the accuser's lawyer plans to serve subpoenas to Prince Andrew to testify as a witness in their cases. While the prince contends he did not witness or even suspect any activities for which Epstein has either been convicted or accused, the lawyer for the 5 women, David Boyce, says the Duke of York may have important information related to their cases. The Mind Unleashed reports the subpoenas have been prepared, but must be signed off by a judge after the prince sets foot on U.S. soil. He can then challenge the subpoenas in order to avoid providing evidence if he wishes. Spencer Kuvan, a lawyer who represents many of Epstein's alleged victims and once questioned the billionaire a decade ago, has urged the prince to come forward, saying on BBC Radio 4's Today, quote, "Be a man, stand up for what you believe, and what you're saying is the truth, and come forward," end quote. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven, and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. Despite having gotten away with murder, Neighborhood Watch volunteer George Zimmerman has filed a $100 million lawsuit against the family of Trayvon Martin and attorney Ben Crump, claiming that they engineered false evidence against him. The Mind Unleashed reports that Zimmerman, who was acquitted of homicide charges in the 2012 shooting death of 17-year-old Trayvon Martin, is being represented by high-profile lawyer, founder of Judicial Watch and Freedom Watch, and former U.S. Department of Justice prosecutor Larry Klayman, in a lawsuit seeking damages for defamation, abuse of civil process, and conspiracy. Martin was shot and killed February 26, 2012, when he was returning to his father's home, whom he was visiting, after purchasing candy at a local store. Zimmerman reported Martin as suspicious in a call to police. Zimmerman claims he followed Martin after making the call and was attacked by the teen before killing him. Martin was unarmed, carrying only the Skittles and a drink he had just purchased. The Trump administration on Wednesday announced new measures that would end food stamp benefits for nearly 750,000 low-income people. The new rules would make it difficult for states to gain waivers from a requirement that beneficiaries work or participate in a vocational training program, according to a report from Bloomberg. Republicans have long attempted to make the change. House Republicans tried to cut parts of the federal food assistance program last year, but it was quickly rejected in the Senate. The new requirements by the Trump administration would only target able-bodied recipients who are not caring for children under the age of 6. Sources said the measure would be one of 3 enacted by the Trump administration to wind down the massive federal food assistance program. The measures are expected to boot nearly 3.7 million recipients from the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, known as SNAP. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Federal authorities are currently on high alert in Washington, D.C., following reports that hundreds of crazed sociopaths infiltrated the congressional chambers this morning. Mary Canley, a Capitol employee who managed to escape the House chambers, described the troubling scene to reporters.
I saw all of them. About 400 to 500 completely deranged people just rambling on about guns, the military, and money.
Investigators say the lunatics, many of whom are believed to suffer from severe personality disorders, have locked themselves in the chambers for hours now, with no clear purpose or reasoning.
I looked at one of them right in the eyes, and it was like he was empty on the inside, devoid of any emotion or feeling. It was horrifying. It's only a matter of time before they do something that really hurts someone.
We believe these men to be manipulative and extremely dangerous. Luckily, they are also very disorganized, and there is a chance they may never be able to ever take any action at all. For more on this developing story, keep checking theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's 855. Man, I'm just stumbling over this number. 855-450-3733. That is our toll-free number. That's the number you can call to get on the air. But first, I wanted to tell you about Better Plans. Are you sick and tired of Washington politicians making decisions about you and your family's health care? Obamacare, which was supposed to be affordable health care with a choice, has turned into high-priced insurance with little choice at all. The team at BetterPlans.net believe that there is a better way to do health insurance, and they figured it out. Call 800-714-1802 to get a fast and free quote. The truth is, you can get affordable health care plans that cost hundreds of dollars less per month. However, the first step is becoming aware of how the wool is being pulled over your eyes. Download their free ebook, Dirty Little Secrets, at betterplans.net. See their sample plan prices, every bit as good as the major providers' plans, for as little as $145 a month for a single, and even greater savings for families and businesses. Gain access to educational videos and free quotes, plus your free ebook, Dirty Little Secrets, at betterplans.net. Obamacare enrollment deadline is December 15th, so don't delay. Visit betterplans.net or call 800-714-1802. In studio, it's myself, Chris.
And Ian.
And Vincent.
And we have, we really haven't talked about Trump. I haven't talked about Trump in an awfully long time, other than to complain about him, because I happen to like vaping, and I really will. I think a day will come when I can look back and say vaping extended my life. I won't say saved my life, but it definitely got me off of cigarettes, and for that I am very thankful to them. But Trump is threatening to have Adam Schiff, the Bidenses, and Pelosi testify in Senate if the House dares to impeach him. This is coming to us from Fox News. There's been a lot of blustering. Go ahead.
I just want to say, and according to AP News here, just for some background, today Thursday, House Democrats moved aggressively to draw up formal articles of impeachment against Trump. So it looks like it's going to happen. Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, and people used to say that she's never going to let impeachment go through because that's going to guarantee Trump a win. Well, now it's going. She says that I quote. Trump leaves them no choice. So impeachment is, it looks like unless this is a serious bluff charge, looks like we're going to see some sort of articles filed.
I was of the opinion that we always would. I mean, this to me is playing out like Clinton. This is, it's
payback time.
Yeah, and you had the Republicans controlling the House during the Clinton impeachment, 90 whatever it was in the 90s. And you had a Democrat-controlled Senate. You knew it wasn't going to go farther than the House, but you knew those Republicans in the House weren't going to let it rest. It's exactly
political.
The same. It's just flipped on its head.
Right. It's totally political. They're playing to the base, right? It's election season.
Right.
We're doing everything we can to show Trump what's for.
Oh, and we're getting very desperate because originally they tried with a Mueller report, and that just totally fell flat on its face. And then now they're doing – so what they're accusing Trump of doing, the whole quid pro quo in Ukraine, is exactly what – Joe Biden admitted to doing for his son at a Council on Foreign Relations meeting that was filmed. And so, it's like, so they're ignoring that. And I think both sides are criminals for their own reasons. But in this case, it is a witch hunt. And so they're going after him for exactly what they do. And Trump released the transcript himself.
And for all transcript that his own White House put together.
That is true. But I mean, the Ukrainian president, came to Trump's defense and said he didn't offer him, because with what Joe Biden admitted to doing was, he said that his son was there's like some sort of investigator that was investigating a company his son was involved in. He said, you fire the prosecutor, or we won't give you, however many billions in aid. And then I quote, he said, "Oh, son, son of a," he said the female, that word. I don't know if you can say it on radio or not.
And we won't.
He fired him, right? And so if a guy got fired, he admitted that he literally threatened to withhold funding if they didn't fire a prosecutor who's looking into his son. And that's my understanding of it from however long ago Fox News reported on it.
Right.
So I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous, and I see this as very desperate because I mean, there's nothing like Jerry Nadler, who's who's one of the Democrats presiding over the hearings, or they don't even have witnesses, they just have these law experts go speak into it. Just I remember one was testifying. They said how Trump ruined Thanksgiving for them, that they were so obsessed with looking into Trump's corruption that they had to order a pre-cooked turkey. So I mean, and so Jerry Nadler is apparently today I saw a news article, he was falling asleep during it.
Well, turkey will do that.
And
that's a tryptophan.
Well, no,
you're really into this though, Vincent. I guess now I feel old and jaded.
I haven't been religiously following. I'm not like Sean Hannity. Okay, the last time this is just from like the bits and pieces I'm forced to hear because this is what's saturating via mainstream media. It's like CNN.
Yeah, this to me is
MSNBC.
Not the top most interesting news. I find it to be the least interesting story.
But it's not for lack of trying. The left is trying very hard to demonstrate that Trump is a crook, and the right is trying very hard to demonstrate that these guys, these Democrats, they're just nuts, and these are the depths they will stoop to. And I think
yeah.
And here I am.
That's right.
Here I am sitting here with my Lipton iced tea, like Kermit the Frog, sitting there looking back and forth at him, going, "There's no difference here. The Republicans and the Democrats are behaving as one would expect. They are just playing this big political game, and they happen to found a topic that they can both benefit from with their base."
I mean, I think in this case, it's not that I disagree. I think in this case, though, it's significant because they it's just so clearly a screw job because we have the 13 angry Democrats. So all the people who worked on the investigation of the Mueller probe were incredibly partisan. Peter Strzok, Lisa Page? These two lovers. They're both involved in it. Peter Strzok was with the FBI, and they had all these text messages released that said how much that they hated Trump and how Clinton should have won, and did. That when one of them, I forget which one of them it was, but when Trump got elected, they said we're gonna fix this, we're gonna solve this, and that's totally fine. Which shows that Trump has zero control over the Justice Department. That's fine. There's no consequences there.
That just
people lie. They lie before plenty of people just lied before Congress. That's fine. But Roger Stone, he gets thrown in jail because of what's it called, a process crime or I forget exactly what it is,
right.
But and so it's just a total screw job. And are the Republicans good? No, but I mean, this sets a dangerous precedent because anytime someone that the Democrats or even the Republicans in turn gets elected that they don't like, all they have to do is just launch all these endless investigations,
right?
And then just
blue dresses.
Yeah. I mean, that's
stained blue dresses.
Well, I mean, with Clinton,
really.
it was because he, their claim was he committed perjury, and it bit them in the butt afterwards with the Republicans. They lost popularity. And I don't know if this is going to happen to the Democrats just because so many people. Well, I don't know.
What it shows is that
when
you change out the politicians, you don't change out the rest of the government.
God,
so. Trump comes in and there's all these bureaucrats that are still working who might have been appointed under Obama, might have been appointed under Bush, might have been appointed under Clinton, and
might have been appointed under Eisenhower.
It used to work the other way because Andrew Jackson said to the victor goes the spoils. Where Andrew Jackson he would stuff his cabinet and the government and replace all the previous administration's people with his people.
You can stuff the cabinet, but that doesn't change out the bureaucrats that are running the various different agencies.
bureaucrats.
You
And I
might
mean,
have been able
no,
to
it's
do
not.
that in
Absolutely.
Andrew Jackson's day.
They have
or Andrew
unions.
Johnson's day, but now you've got unions. You've got
they're protected.
100. How many federal employees
Yeah, well, but these people
are
worked
there?
they worked for Bush, they worked for Obama, they worked for Bush Senior.
They're working
and
for
now
the
with Trump,
state.
I guarantee
well, no,
you
their
somebody.
state. And now Trump, I mean, it's my view that Trump is an outside mafia. It was a hostile takeover of the United States, but
No
so the
way.
deep state. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I proved it on my show or pointed to the evidence. And so that's why we have this reaction against Trump. It's a state, it's bad, but it's an outside force. That's why they use Trump. He's the front man, right? He's a business guy.
I guarantee
the hostile takeover guy.
We got people in there that probably worked for Nixon. 855-450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
Do you like going to your job every day? Can you set your own schedule and take long vacations whenever you want? Are you free to do whatever you want in your dating or sex life? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Come to our free webinar with a live Q&A with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com. Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom, 855-450-3733. That's the number to call to get on the air and to share with us what's on your mind. You can also use Discord. Discord is a very cool app. Just use your high-speed internet connection and your quality microphone, and you will sound like you are in the studio with us. In studio tonight, it's Chris.
Hey, Ian here.
Hey, Vincent here. Hey,
that was kind of.
Hey.
Vincent's been. Well, I don't often get to do shows with Vincent. I mean, we do like every 6 months. Our nights happen to cross, and it's always a pleasure. Seeing how this younger what are you, Generation Z or whatever you are?
Well, there's not particularly a clear distinction yet between Generation Z and like a millennial. I mean,
I think, just kidding. I didn't even know there was a Generation Z. See, we boomers. Now, here's where you say,
well, it's always stupid
okay,
terms.
boomer.
All right, Zer. What's the counter to that?
That's a very boomer response of you, Ian, to just like change the first letter. It's like, oh, hey, I'm gonna be creative, and
Generation.
Well, what
J.
do you call them? It's Z generation.
Well, so like
Zennial,
I don't call it anything. I don't I don't care about this kind of thing. No, it's called, what people are saying, at least on Twitter, is like Zoomers, right? Like all these young conservatives who are showing up to Turning Point USA and Charlie Kirk events and just asking them questions that they're unable to answer. They're called Zoomers, right? I think it's a stupid term, but that's what people are calling them. So what could you do? What do you do?
Okay, Zoomer. You would not associate.
I don't really care.
Okay. Yeah,
it's like if someone is yelling, "Stop, thief, stop!" I'm not going to say, "Hey, whoa, how dare you? What are you calling me?" Because I have no reason to care about that.
Right, and the idea that a boomer. I was born in 1964, so I'm a baby boomer. I'm the youngest possible baby boomer. But if I were born a few months later, then I would be a millennial.
No.
What was after baby boomers?
Gen X, dude.
Gen X. Okay, I'd be a Gen Xer. I don't care. I don't.
It's also dumb.
I just don't.
It's so arbitrary.
Don't care. Right.
All right, let's draw the line here.
It's exactly. And everyone before this date, you refer to them as okay boomer. And everybody after that, that's a Gen Xer.
Primarily for old people.
Okay.
It's primarily for old people or elder Americans.
Yeah. And I can see a lot of people who are millennials that I think I would feel safe saying okay, boomer. Too.
Well, I mean, I believe it stems from just being talked down to by older people, because it's like with let's say the millennials, right? They say like, oh, they're so lazy. Oh, they're lazy. Even though when I was their age, I could work just a part-time job and afford tuition and to buy a car just working a summer, right? These are the people that plundered the economy. These are the people that got us into all these wars. Did every sort of.
Hold on, did I plunder the economy?
This is the generation, right? So the leaders are part of that generation. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's the leader, the generation of leaders, right? And they voted for it.
You weren't speaking of me personally.
What leaders are we talking about?
So I'm talking about the community leaders, spiritual leaders, thought leaders, the cabal, absolutely, political leaders, all of this generation, and that people supported and voted for and tolerated and gave money to and worked for. And it's just, and obviously there's many exceptions. Like my father's a self-hating boomer. He admits that his generation, for obviously different reasons, but so I think the okay boomer reply is that it's just younger people fed up with being, all of our problems. And people are responsible for their own problems, but also people could be
take a little bit of the responsibility.
Well, yeah. I mean, people cause problems too, and so I mean, they say you're lazy. You pull up your bootstraps. You just got to work harder. Okay, what? I'm going to work hard as a wage slave. I'm going to work harder so I could pay someone else's mortgage while I live in a closet paying rent. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. The younger generations have inherited a much worse state of the country. And Hunter S. Thompson talked a lot about this even back in his day. Every decade, people's expectations of things, are things looking positive in the future or better? It's getting worse. Things are worse. That's why we have so many dystopian
People's
movies out there.
People's expectations are worse, or what?
No, hope for the future. It used to be keep getting better and better, back before we had a total Borg collectivist hive mind Soviet police state that we live in now. And
because some things are better.
No.
I mean, there's not as much violent crime. right?
Good point.
There's not as much
Well,
war.
I mean, it's you have violent crime on cause of a police war. We have all these brush fire wars. We have these secret
but there's
wars
not as
going on.
much in total, right? Like, so overall,
Well, that's because
things
there's more
have been getting
centralized
more peaceful.
control. That's why, I mean, people are still being
That
controlled.
doesn't mean less
I'm not
war.
saying that everything is getting bad. I'm just saying that because we have mutually assured destruction because of these things called nuclear weapons.
You think that's what's doing it?
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. That's what I think is doing it. Otherwise, we'd have land invasions and
I don't agree. I think that there's a general trend of less violence, less conflict all around the planet, and we're seeing, of course, more wealth than we've ever seen.
Well, no,
more
we're
countries,
not seeing it.
More, yes,
the
we are.
elite, the elite are getting all that money. No, people are
They're-
getting poor in this country.
That's
The
not
majority
true.
of it's absolutely true. The majority of jobs being created are service jobs. We're becoming slaves to a system. We're being slaves
that
to
may
capitalism.
be true here, but there have been statistically significant numbers of the poor around the world are coming out of poverty.
Right.
Like, poverty is going away in a lot of places where it was pretty rampant previously. And so there's a lot of good things happening.
Now, that doesn't mean that the playing field is exactly correct.
No.
It's not. Things are changing. And the fact that, and speaking of what boomers left you, I mean, boomers, I think, did leave millennials and other generations a much tougher world because the boomers spent like there was no tomorrow because the government made it that way. You could have your guns and your butter. That's when there's no bad implication from overtly taxing. You can have wars and you can still run up a huge government. And that's what they did. And that's what they've given to these guys who have to pay for it.
Ian, I want to contest what you said that there's less violence now than ever. I'd say there's more. I mean, the threat of violence is greater than ever because, as most people, I think, it's objectively most people could say there's more laws now than ever. There's more government agents all around the world. And so there's violence since there's a threat of violence because more people believe in using violence, whether it's for, many young people believe that it's okay to use government violence for climate change. And so it's the threat of violence, but we don't see actual violence because people can't fight back anymore. Right, because almost every country in the world, other than the U.S. and just a few select others like Switzerland, where the whole populations have been disarmed. It's only the government that has any weapons of significance, and they're all controlled by most of them are controlled by the IMF, UN, World Bank, and the ones that aren't are invaded like Libya, Iraq. So I mean, it's like we're in a stranglehold, right? The entire planet, everyone is right where they want them. We're all slaves. We just don't know it yet. We still have a few creature comforts.
That much is true.
To distract us.
Slave statement.
I think that the biggest thing that has happened to make this a safer planet was communism failed horribly.
No, it just changed forms.
The latest,
right?
the 1989.
We're living under communism right now in the United States. The majority of the planks.
True, but what I'm saying is that in general, communism as an economic system proved how poor it was.
Now look at Venezuela, where they've tried it again,
and they're going to go for it, and it's going to do just what it's always done. It's going to fail miserably.
Ostracized by the U.S. and everything. See how the U.S. is going to be like Venezuela.
So, do we want to talk about PMS?
Oh, I'm feeling like I have it. 855, 450 free.
I think Vincent's got a case.
We're going to talk about PMS.
He's irritable.
I'm passionate, Ian. I'm not a stoner. I haven't fried my brain on drugs.
More coming up.
This is
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Ever wanted to hook up with an attractive woman, but you couldn't because you were already in a relationship? Ever wanted to earn high income on low work hours? I'm Caleb Jones, and I've taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low work, high income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Come to our free webinar with a live Q&A with me so you can learn how to create location independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Live video of our Keene, New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That's free as in freedom. 855-450-3733. In studio, it's Chris.
And Ian.
And Vincent.
And Vincent, you had something you were going to tell us about.
Oh, yes. I'm
excited.
Here we go. This is I'm getting credit for my internship, everybody. So I want to talk to you guys about Alpha Male 2.0. So have you heard of Caleb Jones? He's the creator of Alpha Male 2.0. And, we'll be hosting a free live webinar with Caleb, complete with a Q&A on December 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can register at alpha.freetalklive.com. That's alpha.freetalklive.com. Caleb has taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create location-independent income and date women under their terms. And, he asks questions like, what good is living in a free society if you don't live a free life? Have you ever wanted to work when you wanted to work instead of having to report into an office? Or have you ever felt trapped by relationship rules like monogamy? To some, what Caleb teaches is controversial. However, he is not creating sound bites for shock value. He believes deeply in Alpha 2.0 way of life, and he wants to help you be more than just a beta male, or even more than an alpha male. He wants to help you become an Alpha Male 2.0. Attend the free live webinar Tuesday, December 10th at 8 p.m. Eastern. Register now at alpha.freetalklive.com. That's alpha.freetalklive.com.
I'm feeling more alpha already.
Man,
after that
I'm
read.
all fired up.
You guys watch the Silicon Valley
I do.
TV show?
Yes.
Does Mike Judge do that?
Yeah,
yes.
he did. Mike
I haven't
Judge.
watched the latest episode, so don't tell me
Have
about
you watched
that.
this season?
Yes.
Okay. They've got this. There's some video that the main character, who's like this super beta male character, watches to try to make himself more alpha.
I
Where
did
it's just
see
like
that.
flashing of big titty women and
That's
like
right.
eagles and cars, and it's like to
did
heavy
see
metal
that.
music, and he puts headphones on, and
And it has no effect on him whatsoever. But he's trying, Hey, you got to try. Well, I want to say this is changing the subject, but I'm just going to go with the headline here from the Daily Mail. Is PMS real? Experts claim that the condition is fabricated by Western culture and that women's anger usually has nothing to do with their hormones.
And it's a woman who's making this claim here.
Apparently so. Professor of Women's Health Psychology Jane Usher claims PMS is, quote, cultural. Premenstrual syndrome, or PMS, is a myth, according to an expert who said that social conditioning in Western society makes women falsely attribute their emotions to their hormones. Own up to it, ladies. Speaking on the Clue Hormonal podcast, Jane Usher, professor of women's health psychology in Western Sydney University, said that women from other cultures do not report many emotional signs of PMS. She said that it's a long-standing, quote,
or just don't complain about it as much.
Pathologizing discourse dating back to the 20th century. That's the reason women believe they have symptoms. According to Jane, all women experience emotional distress throughout their cycles. However, they will attribute it to their periods if they are premenstrual rather than blaming things like their relationship or work life. So what do you think?
So she's, just to be clear, she's saying that there's just tough things happening in a woman's life or anyone's life, and because it's that time of the month, she can blame that time of the month rather than her reaction or how she's handling whatever the issues are.
Don't worry, I'm just PMSing. It's not all these things that are bothering me. Okay.
Well, you two are two cis white males, so I don't really think any of us have any authority on this matter to speak. I think we
we're not the ones with the authority. This is a woman,
the phone lines
Jane,
to a woman to call in. And,
Jane, what's her name? Jane something.
Jane Usher.
Jane Usher.
Who
is a health psychologist at with the
Western
Women's Health
Sydney University.
Yeah, so she's got cred. She's a doctor.
She academia, very trustworthy. It's like she talks about like reporting, right? And many places don't like. Just saying, I think part of me thinks it might not. It could be like a cultural thing about complaining, and this is just out of a blue. But like my mother, I remember once she said she made a comment about not screaming during labor, right? Because some labor hurts and stuff, and just like by keeping she looked on that very highly, and obviously many other women wouldn't. So I think anyways, I just think different cultural they have different cultural values.
Well, that's what she's saying. That it's all about.
Yeah, but that it's real. That
differences.
it does because I've I worked with someone who was who was having a lot of menstrual pains and cramps, and it's real. Like that's real, and it causes people to get pain. Right, people who are in chronic pain are more irritable because you have your fight or flight cortex response, and so it makes people more irritable. So. I don't think it's something that should be stigmatized, but to say that it doesn't exist. Oh, it's it's like this mass. It's basically saying it's mass hysteria.
Well, actually, that's the term that they used. If you go on in the story, they bring up the word hysteria,
which I think is insulting. For people who actually have to suffer.
That's what they called it apparently in the 1920s. I don't know if you want to keep this going, but
sure. And she added that those in caring relationships were less likely to report symptoms than those who were in more one-sided partnerships. Well, quote, what we know is that symptoms and illnesses are always culturally located, she explained. So if you go to different cultures, different points in history, you have symptom complexes, which is what we see as legitimate illnesses and the way we report distress. She explained that PMS first enters discourse in North America in 1931 when women were diagnosed with, quote, hysteria, unquote, which was associated with the reproductive system. Prior to that, there was, quote, no mention, unquote, of the condition in medical history. So,
which would, be ridiculous because the cycle has been around for as long as women have been around, right? So why did it not show up on the radar until the 1920s?
That's a good point. Thoughts?
Because it's cultural is what she's saying.
Right.
And it is what you're saying here, Vincent. She just basically repeated what you had said, was that it just has to do with how they're handling it and whether they're complaining or not about it constantly, or are they just, grinning and bearing it, so to speak.
Absolutely. We're going to go to the phones where we've got Mike in Washington State. Mike, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Well, funny thing, you should mention it, but PMS and the cycle of life with women. Actually, my own DJ in the morning on the station I stream from didn't want to have this conversation, but I'm glad that you guys are, so I can bring up something. I woke up the other morning and I sat up and I don't know if it's an epiphany or what. I'm not religious. I'm kind of a Mother Earth kind of a person. And it dawned on me that we have this 12 hours in a day and 12 months in a year and 12 signs on the zodiac. And I thought that after the beginning with Adam and Eve, when they were here on this planet, that within the very first rotation of the Earth, which we'll just say from solstice to solstice, what we call a year, Eve had 12 menstrual periods.
This is before
the very first actual count of 12 happened within the first rotation of our planet, and everything else that we do exists around 12. And I believe that women are kind of like more of God than what people think God is, because they reproduce and they are actually what keeps this planet going. Anyway, it was just a weird thought. Our DJ was uncomfortable with it, and that's all I wanted to.
So
really
when you called you say DJ, you mean the morning show host at KBKW?
KBKW's got a great 4-hour morning show, and it's called Coffee Talk. You can call in and talk about anything you want, but our DJ Doug, who I love dearly, and so does everybody else, just was a little uncomfortable talking about cycle of life, so we couldn't address this subject, but you guys could. And I just think it's odd that thing actually happened 12 times. The very first time the planet rotated after Adam and Eve were here, and everything goes on 12.
Hey, we've got to let you go. 855-453. This is Free Talk.
Do the letters IRS give you anxiety? I'm Dan Pilla. I've defended people from the IRS for more than 40 years. My book, How to Get Tax Amnesty, created the tax resolution industry and is responsible for helping hundreds of thousands of people. It can help you too. If you're a non-filer or facing IRS enforcement right now, your case is unique. You need real help, not cookie-cutter advice. My clients get my personal attention. Buy my book at danpilla.com and get a free consultation directly with me. That's danpilla.com. Let's start solving your tax problem right now.
Bags under the eyes, crow's feet, fine lines and wrinkles are things adults complain about as they age. Now there's Instantly Ageless. It works in minutes and is great for men and women.
I've probably noticed in the past 5 years that my eyes have gained a lot of fine lines, wrinkles, my crow's feet have gotten deeper. Wow. I was hoping for 5 years, but that's like what my eyes looked like 10 years ago.
That is really cool. Wrinkle gone.
It's easy. You just put it on your finger and go. Now I wish I had more down here because I can still see one wrinkle. It's bugging me.
I am a little bit emotional. Turning 40, I didn't think would be a big deal to me, but that looks like the me that I feel like inside instead of what I see when I look in the mirror.
Try Instantly Ageless today at gcnlife.com. That's gcnlife.com. 30-day money-back guarantee and preferred price discount at gcnlife.com. That's gcnlife.com.
Hi, this is Dr. Joel Wallach, the Mineral Doctor. You've heard me talk about 90 for Life for years. 60 minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, 2 fatty acids. You may not know this, that I've actually designed Arthrodex for animals. That's right. Your pets need 90 for Life too. Get this essential pet product by calling 877-279-9422. That's 877-279-9422. Again, 877-279-9422.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. That is our toll-free number. That's free as in freedom, 855-450-3733. And I wanted to do a little shout-out to M. Yakovich. I know his first name, but for whatever reason, he doesn't put it on here, and that's okay. But he is a gold amplifier. That means he has decided to contribute $10 a month to the Free Talk Live AMP program.
Thanks,
AMP. Yeah, thanks a lot. I really do appreciate the AMP program. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And people that help out Free Talk Live, that's what we use that money for. We try to get on more radio stations. And that's not like a direct way that we make more money. What it does is it gets the messages of liberty in more ears and into more brains, and we think that's important. We think it is a great use of your scarce dollars to help do that, and we think that'll make the world a better place. So thank you again, M. Yakovich. You can find out more about the AMP program by going to amp.freetalklive.com. And we've been talking about PMS, and this is the type of story that we really get irritated by, where, you know, we're going to talk about a female subject, and there's a few of them up there that come out, and we talk about it, usually with three guys in a room acting like we have any idea what's going on.
But the woman in the story here that you're sharing with us from the Daily Mail is a, psychologist. She's working at a university. She's a doctor, and she says it's cultural. She says you look at different cultures around the world, and they don't have the same, experience.
She's a psychologist talking about anthropology, so she's not really in her field if she's talking about different cultures from around the world.
Regardless, it's an interesting observation that things are very different in other cultures when it comes to women and their experience with PMS.
She's not
and what
qualified
they
to look at that.
And what they do.
I'm just going to say she's more qualified than I am, for example, because I don't have a uterus.
So, would a neurosurgeon be more qualified to fly a rocket then just because he has a higher level of education? I mean, I'm just being facetious here. We have a caller on the line, but yeah, I don't think she's qualified.
We're going to go to the Discord where we actually do have a woman. Abby Normal, you're on Free Talk Live. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Excellent. What's on your mind?
Okay, so although I agree that like some women are very like exaggerate it to the extreme, but where I guess it depends on what you define as syndrome. Just because I think of a syndrome as a group of symptoms and a collection of symptoms or diseases that create a syndrome.
Okay.
Therefore, being the fact that you get cramping, you get emotional because of said pain or discomfort, therefore creating a syndrome.
And I'm fine with however you want to define it, because face it, I'm outside my zone here. I don't know what PMS is like. I don't know what having a period's like. I can't. I
only know what living with it's like.
And we know how to joke.
Yeah, I thought you
about
guys were pretty brave for going on that subject.
it. So you define it however you want, and whatever you have to offer, that's fine.
Well, the thing is like, yeah, I get what she's saying, that it's not an actual, syndrome, but the collection of the symptoms would create a syndrome.
Well, what she
Does
says
that make
here,
sense?
if you don't mind, I'd like to share a little more here from the story. She says that these notions that women would have psychological disturbance were happening in the UK and US and really had little impact anywhere else in the world. She says you really see this legacy today. In the US, UK, and Australia, we've taken up this pathologizing discourse around the menstrual cycle. We expect women to be mad or bad or dangerous, and women take that up and feel irritable and feel angry, and then they blame it on their bodies. She said women in other cultural contexts don't report emotional signs of PMS at that stage in their cycle, but begin to if they move to Western countries. She says further, what we also know is that when women come from cultures where there isn't a discourse around it, move to the US or UK, they begin to report the symptoms. She says it's a culture-bound syndrome because it's a way of attributing anger and distress to their body. Women actually experience anger, depression, and distress across the whole cycle, not just before it. She says, what we know is that when they are premenstrual, they will attribute it to their bodies, but at other points, they attribute it to other parts of their lives. What do you think about that?
Well, rather, the funny thing is the women in the USA and other in the UK would complain, type of thing is how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Just because we're kind of, we complain when Wi-Fi isn't working right, and
Right.
we complain about everything in this country. So
So you're saying it's a first world problem. It has something to do.
Yeah,
with,
kind of.
Okay.
It's there could be worse. What I'm saying is like I can see what she's coming from, and I do agree that a lot of women but you shouldn't be blaming on your
period
honoring behavior,
right?
Or take it out on your significant other because of that. Like, see, that's ridiculous.
Gotcha.
But yeah.
Well, and they did
as far
say
as
earlier
it being
in the
a
story,
syndrome, yeah.
They did say earlier in the story that compassionate relationships get less complaining about this, whereas less compassionate relationships, maybe people who don't get along particularly well, there's more complaining about it.
Interesting. Yep. Abby, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. We're going to stay on the phones because, hey, we've got another female caller.
2 whole female callers in a row.
It is a record for Free Talk Live of all time, 2 female callers. Olivia, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Oh, she's in there. Maybe she doesn't know
Olivia?
you're there yet. Well,
we're going to put
We can just hold on. She can just pop in whenever, whenever she wants to.
I'll check on her.
There she is.
There
Yes.
you are. Olivia, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, yeah, if you had any questions, I was here to answer.
Well, it doesn't really work that way. It's talk radio. You're supposed to call in with something.
Oh, sorry. Well, no.
Well, what do you think about this?
I do feel like it's a real thing. I guess my perspective is I never really track when my period's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So I guess it just kind of surprises me because they shift a little bit, because a month's not a perfect 28 days.
Right.
Except February.
I heard we've got a leap year coming up in 2020, by the way.
Oh, yeah, we
cool.
do. I forgot about that.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
So, have you ever lived anywhere else or traveled anywhere else or have friends in other countries or other cultures?
I had a Greek pen pal, but we never talked about that. But what I was going to say
Didn't
was,
just come up naturally, right?
it's not really something I really discuss that much. I just wanted to say that I never tracked mine, and so one thing I have noticed is that like I'll know it's coming because of certain signs. So I do get more irritable. I feel really tired sometimes. Like I'll crave chocolate, really random because I'm not a chocolate person. But sometimes I don't even realize it because I'm so in the middle of what I'm doing that when it happens a few days later, I'm like, oh, that explains why I was so depressed.
Now I get it, right?
Yeah, and I mean, it is worse. Like I'll notice that it is worse than just regular, like, because you're like this idea that hormones don't affect your brain chemistry is crazy. I mean, it does.
Of course. Hey, thanks for the call. I appreciate it. We're gonna.
That was awkward.
That was
not at all.
It's appreciated because again, it's one of those topics where the three of us have really nothing to offer, and we appreciate your perspective.
And I don't think they're saying that the hormones aren't affecting women. What it seems to be saying here is that they're blaming their whatever negative experiences they're having on that. Even though, they're having negative experiences throughout the whole menstrual cycle is what they're saying.
It's interesting. We're going to stay on the phones where we've got David from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I got PMS.
Really? Where'd you get it?
Well, from the insurance company, Presbyterian Medical Services. That's who my coverage is from, PMS.
Really? You didn't strike me as
For
a
real,
Presbyterian.
Dude, Google it. What?
You didn't strike me as a Presbyterian.
I'm not. I'm lying to them. I faked them out.
Really? So wait, you have to say you're a Presbyterian to get their services?
So could you be in trouble with the government for doing that or with God for lying about being a
Presbyterian? Well, you're in trouble with the
Presbyterian?
government no matter what you do, remember?
That's
pretty much
correct.
true. Yeah. Hey, thanks for the call tonight, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Well, that's all the time we have for tonight. But we're here every night on Free Talk Live, 365 days a year. If you're listening between 7 p.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern, we'll be here. Free Talk Live.
Whether you're bleeding or not.
Have a good night.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
Back in January, February, I'd jet home, make myself something to eat, blah, blah, blah. My girlfriend works nights. By 8:30, 8 o'clock, I'd be in bed. I'm sitting there thinking, okay, if this is what the rest of life is like, I'm doomed. Today is day 14 of me taking Balance of Nature. My energy level's through the roof. It took me 5 years of hearing it on talk radio to actually try it. The difference is night and day.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Call or go online now and become a preferred customer, which gives you our best pricing and free shipping. And we will take an additional 35% off of your first order. This will be a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com.